Okudilionye Kieladio Chukuna Malugo Yobia Diocha Agaranya Chogo Kowe Bili Agaranya Chogo Kowe Dio Owe Chuku Bezie Chuku Nuche chukwa busigi fegemeo Nuche chukwa busia ifegemeo Nifo solo ne asi alibazie Obwe bebe agaranya muliba Obwe wuru agaranya mebibe solea Mano agaranya mwa Obwe afyozi enipakwa Agaranya chogo kowe bili Agaranya chogo kowe rienyo Obwe chikubezio lisa Kodili ma kodili bemo Kodili wakema kodili wanima Naino kwane we beluge beluo Kodili ma kodili bemo Kodili kemo kodili heyo Ibedwe me wane Nikadie zibo hewo
This topic, thank you all for joining us. This topic is going to get, it's something that I feel a little bit annoyed by, things that have been happening lately in the space for this week. There has been a lot of conversations. That's why I thought I should have this topic on. The topic is mostly about why is it important to be loyal to one's nation. This is it will sound crazy, isn't it? Like, oh, why should you ask? Because the way Nigerians are right now, this question is like, why? It's like, why? This is obvious. This nation is useless. Why should you be loyal to it? That is how it comes across to Nigerians when you ask our questions from the point of view of Nigerians. But it's a very, very serious question because if you look at what Kemi Badenoch did recently, and you look at how what's his name? Eno Tayo. Is it Eno Tayo, that YouTuber that has got 1 million views, subscribers? How he reacted to Nigeria and said he was going to this in Portugal. And just to see how other people around the world reacted to these things, I was quite surprised by it actually. People, there was a guy that wasn't even Nigerian. The guy was so cross with Tayo about like I think I will play the video so we can have an idea of what we are talking about here, because there's some aspect of Nigeria that it makes us come across as if we are spoiled, that we behave as if we are not responsible citizens of a country at all. And this guy is crossed because of it. And let me see if I can share the video. I'm trying to just pull it up, so I'm looking away from the screen and trying to do a good job of it, of course. So let's see if I can get this guy on. So yeah, that's the guy there, and that's Tayo. If anybody doesn't know him, that is him there. Let me let this guy on stage. Yeah, thank you for joining us, Richard Sokbara. So this is a Ghanaian YouTuber, and this guy has got 1 million subscribers. You know, Dr. Damage is 70 something. He has got 1 million, and Davido and you know, Africans, the Maya, they help promote him. He got so many views, and most of his subscribers are probably Nigerians. And guess what? Then he decided to leave Nigeria and say he's going to Portugal and said all kinds of nasty things about Nigeria. And that is what this guy was trying to address. And let me see if I can play what this guy said. I don't want it to go on too long. Let me see that.
Now that you have close to millions of subscribers, now that you are...
Can you hear that? Did you guys hear what he was saying? Yeah. I just want to confirm. All right.
Yeah.
Big boy. Now that you are making millions, now that you are probably making millions and you know hundreds of thousands of dollars every month, now that you are a big guy, one of the biggest in the YouTube industry in Africa, what do, Tayo Aina? You turn your back and say, no, Nigeria made me depressed. Nigeria didn't allow me to have opportunities. Nigeria this, Nigeria, that's where the criticism step in. You start vomiting on the country. You start saying all kind of nonsense on the country. You start trying to make sure that instead of relocating on your own quietly, you drag other people, create nuisance, make the entire world to look at Nigeria as a country that you can't stay there and have peace, you can't stay there and enjoy, you can't stay there and be free. You will get money, Tayo Aina. You that you are a successful YouTuber. That is what you want to leave behind for your country. That is the reputation you want to give your country after the country has made you who you are. I don't understand why you Nigerians continue to tolerate and accept this kind of people. See, Nigeria is the only country where people, they abuse freedom of speech. The Nigerians abuse freedom of speech so much. This is the height of it. You cannot tell me that your family will feed you, take care of you, raise you to the point where you are now okay, you cannot stand on your ground. You will not turn back and tell the whole world with your millions of subscribers. You are not telling them to avoid Nigeria. You are not telling them you cannot stay in Nigeria and be happy. You are not telling the whole world you cannot stay in Nigeria and be peaceful after Nigeria has raised you. It's not fair now. Let's be honest. If you think that
the guy is furious with fellow Nigerians. He's furious with Nigerians because he feels like you see that in Kemik Badenoch too. It's not only this. You see that almost in many Nigerians. Even Davido did it the other day when Nigerians were criticizing him. What I find recently is that Nigerians are beginning to push back now. That this is unacceptable behavior. Nigerians should stop doing this. Do you know how many Nigerians tell fellow foreigners that want to come to Nigeria not to come to Nigeria? That is some crazy stuff. I don't know how many countries does that. Where somebody wants to go to their country, the foreigner, the Nigerian will be telling them, no, don't go. Or let's say you want to go to Spain. Somebody in Spain tells you, don't go to Spain. Even Colombia, they will not. People from Colombia will not tell you to go to Colombia or Mexico. But Nigerians will be the first to tell you not to go to Nigeria. And they are the kind of people that, for some reason, I don't know what it is. One other thing that they say all the time that I really feel like we need to address a bit more. I think maybe that one deserves its own topic. When they say, what has Nigeria done for me? What has Nigeria done for me? You know, when now I begin to understand what Kennedy said, you know, Kennedy of America president, when he said, ask not what your country has done for you. What have you done for your country? It's like Nigerians, they flip that script around and they go overseas and they say all kinds of bad things about their country. Not that you shouldn't criticize your country, but the level we do it seems to be a little bit, it's so bad that many foreigners are even saying that about us. To the point whereby Nigerian UK police the other day was telling Nigerian women not to call police for their husbands anymore. I think some of our attitudes overseas, we act a little bit like we are spoiled. Maybe it's the oil. In the oil that we have, we just, you know, we don't have to really produce anything to earn that money from oil. Foreigners come, dig the oil from the ground, sell it, and give us the money. No matter, even if the money is reducing that they are bringing every year, we don't mind as long as we eat it. Maybe that is it. I don't know why is it that we act as if our nation is the worst. If you go to Russia, if you see their history, it's full of blood that they've shed for that nation. The UK, the same thing. France, blood everywhere they've shed. And yet they never abandon their nation. If I show you the indoctrination that goes on in those countries from a young age, they teach them that this is your country, no matter what, this is the motherland, or this is your fatherland. They will fight and die for their land. But Nigerians, they are the first to go overseas. And even if they are doing well, look at Afrobeats. Look at Nollywood. Football. Do you know a Nigerian won a kind of beauty contest? A Nigerian won it in the whole world. A Nigerian won it just last week. We won a lot of CAF awards just last week. Yes, our government are useless. We don't have power. Yeah, we know. Boko Haram, all this stuff is there. But other nations have this. Is Americans. Do you know how many people die in America every year? 43,000 to 45,000 die every year from gun violence alone. That is more than all the kidnappers can kill in Nigeria. That is America. Is it that they are able to take this and absorb these things and still march on? And you don't see anybody when you want to go to America, they tell you, "Oh, don't go to America. You're going to get gunned down." What is it about us that we just don't value loyalty to our nation as much? What is it? Because if you compare all the things we complain about our nation, other nations have it too. Other nations have it too. It's not only us. But yet they still manage to know how to behave themselves when it comes to their nation. They at least they try. By and large, they succeed. Because of all this discussion we're having, in my mind, it has crystallized it in my mind that Oyibo people, and it turns out to be true. Oyibo people are the most united people in the world. I find it hard to believe that I'm saying it. They are actually the most united people in the world. And guess which people have shared their own blood more? Nobody. They've killed themselves far more than anybody else. And yet they are still disunited. How did they do it? Why do you don't see them bad mouthing their continent in front of us like that? So, but this is a topic. That's why I thought I should just highlight it so that I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to let you guys explain why loyalty to your motherland, your fatherland, whether it's important to the people, or is it just free for all? So should I start from AY or start from Eccentrica? Eccentrica is not there, so I will start from AY. AY, so what do you make of it?
I'm here. All right, go ahead.
Oh, your video is not there. I can't see you. I wanted to do reverse this time so that because AY is the pinnacle of the discourse. So Eccentrica, I can't see you. I can't see you. But go ahead because we've seen you in the other one.
What's going on? That's correct.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you need to go out and come back in again.
I can see Eccentrico. I'm not the only one that can see him.
I can see him. Oh, I see. I can see him on the other one, but I can't see him here. Okay, it's all right. Go ahead. It's me. It's me.
Oh, okay. Man. All right. So when it comes to loyalty to country, I think the most loyal group of people in Nigeria are the governing elites, right? Those in the government, they're the most disloyal. I mean, you can tell by their actions, how they take money out. You know what I mean? How the what's the proper word for it? They like how they take resources away from Nigeria and stash it overseas. Steal money that's made for building infrastructures in the country, and stash it in foreign banks. And most of their policies are not geared towards making the country better. So they're the most disloyal people, and I believe that one of you know one of our responsibilities as citizens, right? Like you mentioned Russia, right? When Russia went through a phase where the czars, the elites were running everything and subjugated everyone else, and what they did was they had a revolution, right, where they kicked out the czars, and I think Nigeria needs to go through that process. We need to go through a process where we kick these guys out of the country. What I mean? Somehow, some way. It's possible. It's doable. It's just that our people are now mobilized, right? If you look at the national anthem that we play here all the time, if you look at the words of the national anthem, we don't even do none of that. There's no freedom in Nigeria. There's no unity. There's no unity. There's no peace. The national anthem. The leaders need to actually look at the national anthem, the words in the national anthem, and make that part of their policies, right? To create freedom, unity, and peace, right? Part of having the freedom would be, making sure that everyone has, basic amenities, right? That's part of, you cannot be free if you don't have, if you're hungry. You know what I'm saying? A hungry person is not free. If you're hungry, if the police are always, hounding you anytime you drive, the government can just come up with a policy that affects the people negatively and just sit in their thrones. So they're the most disloyal people, not the guy with the 101 million views saying that he wants to leave the country. I think the people that made the country uninhabitable for the populace are the most disloyal, and they're the ones that needs to be treated. Like what happened in Nigeria needs to happen in Nigeria. I wish our Nigerian military, are actually, have. I wish like their politics is a little different You know what I'm saying? Because most of our military are neoliberals. That's why they always align with the government. And when they get when they get in office, they are the most neoliberal. You know, in their own policies as well. You know, we need if our military has like some kind of social mind, you know, so socially minded military that thinks about the people and wants to, you know, that recognizes the problem, you know, and deals with the problem. You know, like when if they commit a coup, their purpose would be to fight Nigeria away you know, from the foreign handlers. You know what I mean? Like Nigeria did, kicked out France. You know, we need that. Nigeria need that. You know, the British is still running our country like France is running, like France run Nigeria. You know, we need freedom from these guys, right? And all their handlers in the government. You know, there is a way to get these guys out of there. You know what I mean? So I think they're the major problem. You know, with the country.
But the topic was about why is it important? We know the problems, and I think you can see look at this one now. Look at that. Loyalty my foot. It's like, what is it with our people? You know, it's like our people, the way they look at their land is like treat it anyhow. Like somebody else is going to come and take it. Don't worry.
Yeah. So like so
he's going to come and take it.
Yeah, if you're loyal, right? You are loyal to a system that imprisoned Delhi, right? Delhi, someone that was, you know, criticizing the judicial system, and he got locked up. And
see, hold on. See, let's not do this. See, if we do that, for every anybody you mention, I will mention the same thing for other countries, maybe even 2 for other countries. Why is it that they are functional? Why we refuse? We act like spoiled. Let's face it. Other people go through the same thing. Why do we see? It's one thing there to say, okay, yes, these people are doing bad things, but your nation remains different from them. It's like a family. If somebody in the family is misbehaving, or a group of people is misbehaving within the family, that doesn't mean you should cause the whole family.
Yeah, but those people have functional democratic system to a certain extent. Nigeria doesn't have any democratic system. We don't have a functional.
Look at this one that is saying loyalty my foot. Does this one sound like somebody that is going to build anything?
No. Like, you
gotta understand that one. It wasn't God that came from heaven to build it.
You need to understand where he's coming from. Loyalty, he's not loyal to the system. You know what I mean? The system that, you know, that creates inflation and, you know, removes all the social programs that benefits the ordinary people. That's what he's talking about. He's not loyal to that, not to the country itself. He's talking about the loyalty to the system. You know what I mean? Like the whole concept of Nigeria is just a name, right? It's the people. It's the system that makes the country. You know, like the government, you know, the governing bodies, you know, the political parties, these guys, you know, driving a Lamborghini and messed up roads, they are the traitors, man. You know, they are the most unloyal people. Those guys go.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's not the dispute. Where I have an issue is when we do that, we forget that we are also doing the same thing. It's like Kemi Badenoch saying she was on the side of Yoruba people, but against Nigeria and the Northerners, forgetting that while she's badmouthing Nigeria, there are 40 million Yoruba people in Nigeria. What kind of low IQ thinking is that? This is our problem. We don't seem to know where we should draw a line when we are doing things. That's self-harming, and she doesn't even know it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Badenoch is a terrible person. I don't really like her.
Yeah,
but the people that come in here to, you know, protect her, I look at them with side eye too. You know what I mean? Our politics doesn't align. Our politics doesn't align with those people. Those people are now they don't have class consciousness. That's what's lacking with a lot of these people. When they come on here, they lack class consciousness. And I even imagine most of the people that come here, if they join the government, they will still be doing the same thing the government is doing. They're not going to do anything different because of lack of class consciousness, right? Like if Nigerians have the opportunity to carry a revolution, right, they will do it. And why would you want to do a revolution in a country? That's because you love the country and you want a better system. That's why you want to do a revolution. The revolution you're doing is not just to destroy the whole system and just walk away. You're trying to restructure the whole system. The system is unhealthy. It's very faulty. You know, the most unloyal people are the elites. The guy I read a story, some guy, he bought a Lambo to his daughters. Like, where are they going to drive the Lamborghini? In Lagos? The roads are messed up. Why would you even drive a Lamborghini when the families next door could barely feed their family, like give the family 2 square meal. Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like we need.
but we are. You see, you. I don't know why every time we have discussions about Nigeria, first thing we do is, oh, it's the government that, and I do understand that to an
It's
extent.
not the
Like the
it's
government
not just the
controls
government alone.
everything.
It's
But
not
how
just the
about the
government
people
alone.
themselves, the middle class? The middle class too. They are some of the most disloyal people.
Nigeria has no middle class. What middle
What do you
class?
mean Nigeria doesn't have middle class? They do. You'll be
Nigeria does
surprised.
not. Nigeria does not have
It
middle
may be
class.
small, but they are there. They are there.
There is
They
no
number
middle
in the
class.
millions.
It's only two classes: rich and the poor.
Yes, they
That's it.
do. I've met a few of them. I can tell you that they exist. There are a lot of Nigerians that are in Nigeria that can go overseas and come back. Go overseas and come back. They don't have to stay here. They are middle class. So why are we saying that they don't exist?
Those are the elites, man. Those are the rich, man. Those are the rich that needs
Oh,
to be
those are people
eaten.
we call the rich. If somebody has $1 million, you call them super rich in the context of Nigeria. That's
$1
middle
million.
class.
That's super rich. $1 million.
$1 million is not a middle class in Nigeria.
No, it's not.
Come on, that's
It's a middle class globally.
no,
It's a
no.
global.
1 million
See, as long as it's based on
globally,
class,
$1 million is rich. Who is defining that? How many people have $1 million?
How many people have
yes, so
how
in
many of us
the
here have
UK, most people that have up to $1 million will be considered middle class. If
How
you
many
don't
of us
have,
here
if
$1
you
million?
don't, no, if you don't have up to $1 million, I'm talking
middle
about,
class?
I'm talking about net worth, not in your bank account, net worth.
Net worth, yeah.
If you are what, yeah, net worth $1 million.
Yeah, maybe still fall. Maybe high middle class, I would call it high middle class.
Upper middle class, they hardly need to work at all. But those ones that have net worth of 1 million, they still need to work, and that's why they call them this thing. By UK standard, they may even call it working class.
Yeah.
You know, UK they don't mess about. So yeah, thank you, Richard Okpara. Thank you for joining us. I don't know, your camera hasn't moved for a while. It's like a silhouette.
I mean, you can see me, right?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, this matter, I can play you video. You know, people have seen
No,
it.
I watched it. I watched it.
Yeah, there's one for Kemi Badenoch too, the one that where she was rubbishing the entire black race. The reason why I'm highlighting this point, because this point we've been talking about it now for weeks. Is there something within we, especially Nigerians of all groups of black people, where we want to serve other people, we serve them with all our might. You know, all our might in our national anthem. Instead of us to do for our nation, we do it for other people. We serve them with everything we've got, and because of that, when it comes to Nigeria, we just rain abuse on the country constantly, even if other nations have problems. So I don't know, what do you make of this? I'm going to play a video later on about the psychological aspect of this, because somebody analyzed, you know, that Django movie, the black guy in Steven in Django movie. Somebody analyzed the psyche of that slave, his behavior, and I feel like there is something we might be able to pick out from there by our behavior, because I know that in UK myself, if I walk into an office, I see a Nigerian in that office, I'm concerned. If I say Jamaican, I'm a little bit more relaxed. If I see an American, I'm a bit more relaxed. Why am I concerned when I see a Nigerian? That should tell you something.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Who is a Nigerian?
You know. You're a Nigerian.
That's the question. Who is a Nigerian? Until we have to sit down. We have to sit down and discuss who is a Nigerian and who is not. And that's why I'm so, sometimes you look at our politicians, instead of them to come together and discuss issues, they are just, beating the bush, running around this circle. For example, there's a new group now called themselves the Patriots. Emeka Anyoku, all those old people that benefited from Nigeria before the Civil War, before the independence. That the people coming and telling us now that are the Patriots. They want to do away with the 1999 constitution and bring new constitution. I believe what Nigeria needs is not new constitution. What Nigeria needs is, let us sit down and discuss the unity. You cannot be proud of your country when you are not, part of it. Because I believe that many Nigerians are not part of Nigeria. So even our so-called forefathers, they didn't even agree on this Nigeria. That's why we are having this problem today, because the foundation was faulty. Awolowo never believed in Nigeria. He called it a major geographical expression. Tafawa Balewa never agreed in Nigeria. He called it a British invention. And when our people come here and tell us our founding fathers, there was nothing like founding fathers in Nigeria. That is why we're having this problem today. Until we come and sit down and discuss this unity, how are we going to live together in peace and harmony? Anything you do in Nigeria will be, will be just kind of waste of
Yeah,
time and energy.
but you see, why do we do that though? Is that not another way of saying, oh, I don't have a solution? Because in reality, look at the UK now. I'll give you an example. In the country I'm sitting in, this country conquered the entire world. They conquered the world with different other nations within it that hate each other. Scottish people don't like the English. The Irish clearly don't like them. The Welsh, they are practically half dead. So they go on to conquer the entire world, and without even a constitution. How did they do it? Does that not tell you that there's some other ingredient there that is missing in our own country?
Yeah. When they came to Nigeria or Africa, they conquered it. Let's give them they conquered us, all right, but they used us to conquer us. Those 5,000 people didn't conquer the whole Africa. They came to Africa and they recruit. I'm talking about Africa now. The one that came to Africa, 5,000 of them. They used our brothers to conquer our brothers. But that is about 200 years ago, forefathers. I'm talking about today. Why everybody is angry with Nigeria? Because Nigeria has not given you that nationhood that you need. Look at what is happening in Nigeria today. Why are Nigerians moving, on food from Niger to Chad, from Chad to Mali, to Libya on food? Because Nigeria has not given them that nationhood. Ask yourself, my brother, was it so bad like this 1990, 1980, even few years after the Civil War? Was it so bad like this? Still leadership. As long as we don't have good leadership in Nigeria, people, even our children will hate Nigeria more than we do. Because our parents never hated Nigeria like this. Our parents never. What happened? When I left Nigeria, when I left Nigeria in 1990, this dollar. In fact, it was even D-Mark, Dutch mark then. It was 1 naira. Sorry, 1 D-Mark against 15 naira. A dollar was 19 naira then. Who thought that at this time we will be talking about 1,700 naira per dollar? People are angry with Nigeria, not that but people want that country to accept them as their citizens, because Nigeria has never accepted its citizens as like their citizens. This Nigeria you will see today only benefit not up to 500,000 Nigerians, the elites. That's why people are angry with Nigeria.
I hear what you are saying, but is it okay? One of the points that I agree with you on is about the founding fathers that we like to call founding fathers. The truth is that they were a kind of collaborators. Let's face it.
Yeah.
They collaborated with the enemies of our ancestors. Those people destroyed our ancestors, took over, and they raised several generations of people that were loyal to them. And
exactly.
Those people went on to take over the country. And the result we are seeing is what we are seeing now. Because normally founding fathers that fight oppressors and defeat them and found a nation, they defeat the collaborators too. They defeat the collaborators and they defeat the oppressors. And then because of the fight that they've had to fight to found their nations, they are bonded in blood and with a lot of passion. And they go on to found strong nations. But the history of Nigeria doesn't reflect that. Hence,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because, for example, assuming that, in fact, the only person that even kind of felt that he was a Nigerian was Azikiwe, who was talking about, let's, do away with our differences and live together. But the Awolowo was never believed on this Nigeria we're talking about today. The Tafawa Balewas and Ahmadu Bello. Listen to what Ahmadu Bello said about this Nigeria, that he preferred to employ an expectorate, and when there is no, you can then employ a southerner on contract basis. And this is the people we are talking about, calling our forefathers. My brother, the foundation was faulty and is still faulty until we come together. I'm not talking about separation, but let us discuss our unity.
Yeah, but that foundation, though, let me ask you, though, can we help it? Because I've always wondered that if people want to leave your country, they say take key. Would you reject it? What do you expect to do? I just feel like we are blaming ourselves for things we don't have control over. What we have control over is what we do now. Because if people say, Nnamdi Azikiwe, come on, I want to give you key. Tafawa Balewa, come on. Are we going to say no?
No.
That's the problem.
No, excuse me. When Oyibo left, fine. But these people, they would have said, okay, now Oyibo, we have driven them out. There are no more. We now have our country. Then let us do away with all this, tribal, the religious, all the sentiment. But in fact, it was even worse then than now, because Operation Wet Tears started in the southwest, and that was the beginning of Nigeria's crisis. So on these people, they drove the Igbo people out, but they never wanted to be together. And that's what we're suffering today. And until we this generation, if we don't discuss this thing, if we don't get remedy of this thing, our children will be suffering the same thing, because it's not going to go away. Let us be honest with ourselves. Who is a Nigerian?
See, this thing where we do, I don't subscribe to the idea that, we have to ask, are we Nigerians? We have been Nigerians for 60, 70 years. And we keep saying that we have not had this conversation. Our people have had the conversation. It's not people that created the republic in 1963, if I'm not mistaken, then went on to write another constitution in 1979, then again in 2000 or so, 1999 or 2000. So our people have been doing it. We've been meddling. As a matter of fact, they even passed a bill recently to allow states to generate electricity. Our people have been doing it. And that is what bothers me sometimes when we say we want to have to have a conversation before anything will move forward.
Yeah. Excuse me. Let me tell you. Look, my brother. Let's be honest with ourselves. One thing I don't like with black people, we are afraid to tackle issues. We are too emotional. We are too, sentimental. We don't know. It's like they will tell you the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. Who told you that? I've told you. I came here in 1990. I've seen countries gone, go their separate ways in Europe.
How many? Very few.
Actually. No. Excuse me. When you talk about very few, at least we have 7 countries in Yugoslavia today that there were one Yugoslavia when 1989. There are 7 of them as we speak.
The last one was not sure that many countries have been created.
Excuse me, Yugoslavia was, as we speak, Yugoslavia was Yugoslavia, but now there are 8 countries. You can count it in Europe here. In Europe here. So what I'm telling you is that's why there's peace in Europe. That's why there's stability in Europe. For example, here in Germany, there's a country called Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is a German-speaking country. There are I think around 40,000 people. They are on their own, even though you have Andorra. If you come to Europe here, you have countries who are, Andorra is about 80,000. Luxembourg is 640,000. That is why there's peace here. Until we come together and discuss this thing, do we want to live together? If yes, which terms and conditions? All these things will be, let me tell you, conduct election 2027, 2031, the same thing, the whole thing will be, nothing will happen. There will be no change because everybody is like, I'm Yoruba first before I'm a Nigerian. I'm an Igbo first before I'm a Nigerian. I don't blame that woman who was talking about, though I don't like her, and I know that conservative parties want to use her and dump her. I've lived in London for many years. I lived in Dulwich. I know that conservative people will use her and dump her. I'm not fan of Badnoch or what they call her, but she made a statement, and that statement is very, very important. Let us not do away with this thing. We have to look. Let me tell you, for example, a husband and a wife. If you are not compatible, you have to go out your separate ways. The only thing that can keep a husband and a wife is when they are comfortable, when they have respect for each other. These things we are talking today, my brother, let me tell you, in another 3 years, the story, the whole thing, the narrative will continue until we come together and say, okay, we want to build one country, but let it be this or that. For example,
how is that going to help us solve any one problem at all? Just, we agree we are in a country. That's going to solve the problem. It's not going to solve anything. How is that going to help you to secure your country? How is that going to help you challenge the powers that be? It's not going to do that until you do that. The idea that if we just enter a room and have a meeting, the moment you walk out of that room, you have to admit that there are people that will be against all decisions that have been made inside that room.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because
you still have the same division in place.
No, but that's the few those few ones that benefiting from this Nigeria, not you and me. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have.
And the topic is about loyalty, actually. So the idea is to be loyal to the nation that you have. If you are saying until you have conversation before you are loyal to your country.
Yeah, but how can you be loyalty to the country that doesn't even recognize you? That has not given you anything.
Whether they recognize you or not, you're already part of the club. It's your right to claim your title. You can't say you are the son of a king, and then when it comes on to claim, then they say, "Oh, the subjects didn't accept me." No, you claim your right. That is your right. You're already part of the club.
We look at, for example, I travel to Nigeria always. I'm a Nigerian, and I want that country to work. But the issue is that how is it going to work? Whereby those people on the top, they are not even ready to listen to you. They are not ready. They are not willing, and they're not willing, and they will never, because they are not there for you and for me.
Then it's our job to move them now, isn't it?
How do we move them? Do we carry gun and move them? Look, for example,
minds. Sorry. Try to use 30 seconds to round up so other people.
Yeah, I'm rounding up now. My own issue is that the country has really, disappointed everybody, and we should start from the beginning. Nigeria must be renegotiated. Simple. Thank you.
Yeah, whenever people say that, they mean a regional system that they remember to be the golden age. But it's okay. I can I can fire. Who was supposed to speak? Okay, I was supposed to be going up. Okay, the whole thing has been moved around though. Tony hasn't spoken.
I am from the diaspora. I should be made a priority.
Are you sure? I can fire. We should make you priority. It's not going to be fair on people that have been here now. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to. I'll try to make it shorter. I can fire. Try to bear with me. I'm trying to. Who is next now? Can you guys help me out?
Let Akafaya go now. Let him go.
You want to?
Yeah, you're just so persistent to Niger.
You want to? You want to?
Yeah, I don't like that about you too, Niger. You persistent. I wonder if I'm invited. I'm wondering if I'm invited to your channel, because you want to be a superstar. You want to hold a conversation with everybody else. You don't want nobody else. Just let's go to Niger. You know that I have some solutions. I don't really talk about problems. I hear my brothers speaking about the problems, and the problems are great and they are vast. You feel me? It's one thing that is killing us, not Nigerians, all of us black people, we don't focus on our blackness, and we don't give priority towards loving our blackness. We do not think that blackness is royalty and deserve royal treatment. These are the things that's destroying us. I love my brother Richard. He is talking some real stuff. But we need to pinpoint what we need to engage in, which is deliberate Pan-Africanism and deliberate Black consciousness. You need to convey to your people that the market woman is as valuable as the president and should be treated that way. You feel me? No one should be considered inferior in the Black world. No one should be considered less than the other in the Black world. And you need to get that to even these Fulani guys. You feel me? That one of the reasons why they are unsuccessful is because they are fighting the Black world. You feel me? And they are and a lot of us would be considered as cowards if you fight the closest man to you and not fight your enemy, which is the opposite of you. You feel me? So our problem is we need to find a way to overwhelm the administration.
What do you mean? Look at how you want us to fight, identify with our blackness. Don't you see blackness is the devil? How can you tell us to associate with blackness? You see this pastor saying blackness is devil, and let me show you. This is what we believe in. This is why we hate ourselves. The blackness is devil, and look at who is white, who is the angel. How can you tell us now to associate with blackness? When we see blackness as this, is that not a problem? You are telling us to associate with the devil. We can't do that. You understand what I'm saying? We can't associate with the devil. Look at that. How can you look at this ugly devil?
Oh my gosh.
This is us.
Yeah, you are. Well, look here, man. We need to reimagine ourselves and reimagine these images. And we also need to go after, maybe verbally, the people that are, because I know in Nigeria they call blackness bad. And you want to turn Nigeria black. Well, Nigeria is black, and black is beautiful. We need to reimagine what beauty is. You feel me? I mean, like, why don't we see each other as the ultimate beauty? It's just a matter of a mindset. It's just a matter of forcefulness. We could force on ourselves our own beauty. Say you are beautiful, because to Niger, no matter how we see ourselves, a lot of people consider us as maybe ugly or what the hell ever. You feel me? But we need to be in charge of. We need to take charge of our world and proclaim what is beautiful. And I proclaim all Yoruba, all Fulani, all Igbo, all races, all black races and tribes in Africa, the most beautiful. You feel me? Sudanese, the most beautiful. We need to worship our blackness. We actually have to worship it in terms of we must go off on whoever scar the black skin. We need to go after the people that slap the black skin. All abuses need to be stopped. To listen, that's the only way we can keep ourselves safe and each other safe. If we stand there and watch someone disgrace and discard the black man and the black skin and the black body, if we watch that, don't say nothing when it come to you, because you practically deserve it too. So we all need to understand that we can't sit by and watch any other race put their hands on our people, and we need to take it on an internal level where we abuse the abuser of ourselves. You feel me? I see police walking with sticks as if they're driving cows. All that shit should be stopped. You feel me? In Nigeria and all some other little countries where some I mean the stick, the long stick, not even a baton, a stick where they drive cows with, they using on humans. So what I'm trying to tell you is we are downgrading and downplaying each other. You feel me? We need to think of ourselves as royalty and deserving of royal treatment. I mean, ourselves, like you.
Hold on. You know, when you start thinking yourself as royalty that is actually unearned, is that not a problem? Royalty is earned.
Okay, wait, man. We are the raw materially richest nations in the whole wide world. So that means we are raw materially royal. And we have the biggest landmass in the whole wide world. That means we are landmass royal. We are all royal, bro. And the world is depending on us for their development. Therefore, they need to bow to us. So what I'm saying is we need to dictate our royal standard. First of all, we need to formulate our royal category. What that mean? It means that all black people of the world, Africa needs to associate with and defend, whether verbally or physically. That means you go after the IMF for financially weakening parts of the Caribbean black people, or you go after France for occupying that place in those places in the South China Sea where the black people are.
I can't remember.
Africa needs to go after the Australians.
How are you supposed to go after when we are here divided all over the place? That's the topic.
Wait. Topic. What I'm trying to say is, no, listen, bro. Sometimes you need to protect outside of yourself. Sometimes in like Nigeria.
I agree with you. Nigeria, but you're saying that we need to go and have a conversation. We have to have.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we need to get in the program of defending ourselves, defending black nations in Africa and outside of Africa, in order to get the black nations respect and the other nations respect. And respect goes a long way, don't we know that? One of the reasons why we're not getting any respect in the world, is because we're not proving respect to ourselves, therefore in essence proving it to the rest of the world.
Thank you. I can fire. Let's go to Paul E. Paulie, thank you for joining us. What do you make of this in terms of our loyalty to our land, our nation, and our people? Do we even understand what it means anymore? Paulie.
I heard someone saying, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are delayed. You are delayed.
Okay.
It looks like your audio
I
is
just want to
delayed.
say, okay.
You can go out and come back in again. That way we'll be able to hear you, or we'll just let you talk and just listen.
Am I still delayed?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let me leave my comment.
All right then. Yeah, good. Tony, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm sure you have an interesting opinion on this. I don't know whether you've spoken on. I don't think you have spoken on this regarding, do we even know what loyalty means anymore? Loyalty basically means through thick and thin, whether things are bad, whether things are good, you remain loyal. I've said it before. When somebody said there's something about loyalty being the holiest good of the human heart, I'm beginning to believe there's an element of truth to that. Because of what it inspires within populations. It inspires stability, confidence, trust starts building when people are loyal. And it appears as a people, we don't truly understand it. Like Oyibo people now, they will do something wrong. Like even if all of them don't agree on it, they will do something wrong. But the trajectory of their approach to that issue, they will all back their own people first. They may consider apologizing to you later, but they will back their people first. But I worry that we will do everything in our power to act as if we are the most righteous of the righteous and sell our people out to damnation and give up. If they say our people are ugly, we'll believe it. If they say our women are ugly, we'll believe it. If they say we are inferior, we'll believe it. Why do we believe all these things? Why do we believe all these? We know better than that. And
I hear that Nigeria.
No, sorry. Let me.
I hear that Nigeria.
I'm trying to get him
One
to answer.
second.
I can't fire. You can't be interjecting. Let me, so we can organize ourselves a little bit. So, why is that the reason why? Because we just buy into all this narrative about ourselves that we believe that everything in the West is good, everything in Nigeria is bad. Like everything in the West is good. We know full well everything in the West. Like everybody now knows that Ireland fought the UK, England for how many years? They were bombing, they were treating Irish like dogs in the UK and all the rest of it. But yet she acts as if Nigeria is the only divided country. What is it? I don't know. Maybe you can shed more light because I don't have a clue why we just feel like everything about us is somehow bad.
Well, thank you, and greetings to everybody on the platform. Profathers, I think that you need to understand people's experiences and worldview before you begin to make value judgments. I cannot go to battle with my eyes closed with someone that I know will not defend me. I won't. That's the reality. I think it was who was it that spoke earlier? I can't remember the name. Who was saying, who threw a question, a puzzle? Why do you think Nigerians would leave a place like Lagos, go to the north, go to the Sahara Desert with all the degrees and all the dangers there, up to North Africa, and then look for a boat to cross the Atlantic in a balloon? And he knows the dangers that are associated with that. That's a man who has given up. That's a man. What would make someone go through that route, leave his country, knowing that what awaits him is likely is either of two things: he dies, or whatever he finds, he takes. I think we need to ask ourselves some very critical questions. But before I just go on that, let me just say something. There's this concept. I talked about it sometime. I talked about hermetic hypothesis, the way the whites see black people. But there's another one that is called the black man's burden. If you go to history, and that simply is an explanation by the white people that they have a divine right to civilize the black man. And a lot of us buy into that. That's something that has been ingrained, Eurocentric view of Africa, and a lot of us bought it. But today, if you go to African historiography, we are fast. Those things are being expunged because that's not true. So the picture that you showed, it speaks of that kind of worldview, that kind of mindset. Listen, I am happy that the toilet paper that I use is not black, is white. I flush it into the toilet. That for me is to tell you that even white is also bad. They can't change that history.
We don't want to be racist here.
No. They can't change that history. No. Hold on. I'm just speaking. Just hold on, please. I'm just speaking generally. So that's a concept. They cannot make toilet paper black. But that's an aside. You see, if I can speak for myself, and I said it a few days on the platform, and I think you were the moderator, and we're discussing, and I said, what has Nigeria done for me? And I say that based on my personal experience growing up. My children today keeps asking me, what did Grandpa do that they had to mow him down along with his kingsmen? What did Grandpa do? What did my people do that they have to totally decimate families from this earth? It was done by Nigeria. So you need to be a little bit, when you hear people say certain things, I think you need to be a little bit, moderate your views in terms of, because some people are really hurting. Some people are speaking out of the experiences that they've had. But that does not mean that they don't like Nigeria. But we must speak the truth. And speaking the truth does not mean, the current president once said that he doesn't believe in Nigeria. Donald Trump has said so many uncomplimentary things about America, and yet he's the president. So let's not confuse issues. I don't believe in denigrating my country, but yet it doesn't stop me. It will stop me from saying things that I know are real and are true about my country. That doesn't mean that I'm not patriotic. A country owes its people certain responsibility. It's a two-way thing, and it's there in the Constitution. So why? I mean, you just posted somebody who said loyalty my foot. Now he has an experience. There is a reason why he's saying that. You may not like it. I mean, it doesn't look good, but there's a reason why people, until we begin to address those issues, until we begin to see that, listen, people are hurting. A man who is hurting, you cannot be talking to him about loyalty and all those things. You can't. You can speak all the grammar in the world and say all kinds of things that you want. Until you feel
that's the whole point of loyalty.
Until you feel no, that's not loyalty.
That is the point. It is needed.
Loyalty doesn't mean that. Loyalty doesn't mean that if your friend is a thief, you say it's not a thief. That's not loyalty.
People will do that too. I can tell you that. Right?
No, but that's not loyalty. If your friend is a thief, he's a thief.
Yeah, that's
the only thing you can do. That you won't call him a thief in the public, but you will tell him, "Boy, you're a thief."
Yeah, of course, now, but that's loyalty, isn't it? The point I'm making is that the point of loyalty is for you to be present when things are hard. Not only.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Okay, make it
please.
1 minute.
First of all, thieves are manufactured. The country Nigeria or Africa belongs to Africans. So something is turning us into thieves, and we need to go to the root of that. You feel me? First of all, you have a set of white-loving, white-ass-licking people that is giving away Nigeria's treasures. You see me? And they, in their Christian and Islam mind, think that riches only belongs to Arabs and riches only belong to white people. Royal standards and riches does not belong to black people in the minds of these colonized individuals. You feel me? Where they are promoting black beggars. You feel me? And they will purposely stop a white man from being a beggar in Nigeria. So these are the things that's going on. You don't have any black privilege. People don't think that you deserve to own a company and be their bosses. People don't think that. I'm telling you.
Thank
Please,
you.
Let's stop blaming the white people.
Hold on now. 1 minute is gone. 1 minute is gone.
Yes.
I can't fire.
Yes.
Hold on. As successful as Dangote is,
let's stop.
hold on. As successful as Dangote is, he'd be 4 times more successful if he was white. You feel me? In Nigeria.
Thank you. That's true. Thank
you. Feel me?
Let's stop blaming the white people. Let's stop blaming the white people.
Hold on now. Other people need to speak now. You know that. And Richards, I hear you. We are not necessarily blaming them. We are calling out a possible issue because if somebody is also helping you bury yourself, you want to tell them stop.
And
please.
one of us is always begging for the white man. One of us is always the sympathizer of the white man.
Before you start saying I'm picking on you, let Tony finish. Then Paul E can actually make it submission.
What you all gonna do about Nigeria cutting up the pipeline of Niger? What are you all gonna do about that? Should we talk about that?
That's not, we'll talk about that. Let's then speak. Then we'll go through that too.
Because Niger is on the AES countries is on high alert.
On, man. I can fire. Come on, exercise discipline. Huh? Tony, thank you for joining us.
Let me just round up. Let me just round up to say that, you see, Nigeria is a fine country. I mean, I love Nigeria. I came back from Nigeria 2 weeks ago. I have projects in Nigeria that I'm doing. I have property in Nigeria. I love Nigeria. I go to my Facebook, you see, I say very complimentary things about Nigeria. But when we see the facts, we have to say them. We have to say them. People are hurting. Some of us are hurting. And if anybody mistakes that for being not loyal, then it's unfortunate. That's my position. That's my view. Let me just stop there, so that others can continue.
I appreciate that. Paulie, you can carry on with your submission. Appreciate your time and patience. So it's about loyalty, isn't it?
Okay.
Should we demand it or should we? Why? Okay, when is Kennedy wrong of America to say, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country? But Nigerians are like, what can my country do for me? And my country should not ask me anything.
I think we also, even from your narrative, we are constantly trying to think that Igbo people are the ones that determine how we think. Even how do I put it now? And someone was saying something about Nigeria as an expression of whatever. Every country is an expression of the West. The boundaries, whatever, how we want to do it, you can wave your hand all you want. So they have created.
No, but I will explain why. But go on.
So, and another thing again is when people are saying, criticizing Kemi, Tayo, and what's the other person, Davido. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. When Kemi first came out, Kemi was loyal to Nigeria. You people don't know her own personal journey with Nigeria that got her to the place where she is. And then when you look at Kemi is supposed to be the leader of the Conservative Party. Before she was even presented, she would have gone through interviews. They'd have had conversations with her and should have decided what position she's taking. So it's not just Kemi that just came out to say what Kemi is saying. Kemi was presented to do what she's doing. So whatever it is, leave Kemi.
Is that an excuse for bad behavior or?
But why are you bothering? Well,
hold on. I'm not bothered. I'm saying that we have a right to defend ourselves. If somebody goes out there, especially in Nigeria. No, because other people have been leaders. Sunak has been there, Obama has been there, even other people have been leaders of other countries. They don't emerge lambasting where they came from as if it's a sport.
The Obama he brought. Have you seen how Kenya turned out?
Yeah, but he didn't badmouth. He didn't come out and start badmouthing Kenya.
He didn't badmouth it, but it ended up. Did you see where they ended up?
It doesn't matter. The point is that she's badmouthing us, and Obama didn't. Didn't badmouth India.
Let me say politician. She will say
the lady have a right to say she's not part of the North.
She's a politician.
The lady have a right to distance herself from terrorism.
No, she doesn't. If she wants to do that, then we have a right to respond back to her.
Yeah, you can respond all she wants.
That's an attack on the nation.
But entitled to what she. Now let me move to
Are you a supporter of terrorists too, Niger?
I'm a supporter of our people. I don't care about people calling our people terrorists.
Davido's conversation was just conversation about foreign direct investment of people visiting. Nigeria state was in a shambles. It's not like Davido ran away from Nigeria.
Because of what?
Comes and goes to Nigeria as he wills. But we can't always think of Nigeria in isolation. Nigeria is a whole global, it's part of a global interaction. That's one. Then when you're looking at the average Nigerian abroad, or the average educated Nigerian, we all aspire, all our aspiration is to become Oyibo. Am I lying? They're not our aspiration.
I think she asked the question again. Sorry, I missed that.
The average Nigerian's aspiration is to become Oyibo, because that
isn't that the new aspiration.
The only time we say first of anything is when we have gone to the height of an Oyibo establishment. IMF, World Bank.
I agree.
Anywhere.
But isn't that a problem?
Pardon?
Isn't that a problem?
It's an issue. So when we're talking about loyalty, if we are trained from very small, our aspiration is to become. We don't call it Oyibo, but that is.
You are telling the truth. A lot of people don't admit to this. This is exactly the truth.
So all of us are trying to. That's our target. When you work for an NGO, when you work for the World Health, that's our mindset. Then when you talk about loyalty again, the average Nigerian in the Western world, you said it. If you enter a job and you see a Nigerian there, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you will be the only one there. Go there and see the Pakistanians or the Indians in a place.
You see that now you are talking. You see,
give it 1 year
to reveal the gap. You are beginning to show what people have been talking about our people.
Self-hate.
Give it 1 year. The place will be filled with Pakistanians or Indians. We are this mentality of a better past my neighbor is one of the biggest issue we have. And then when we're talking about loyalty to Nigeria, please, can we separate our leaders with Nigeria? Mm-hmm. Our leaders are our issue. It's not Nigeria. And when we keep electing compromised leaders, how do you expect a compromised leader to go and negotiate with anybody? That's what I'm talking about globally. We are not in isolation. We are part of a global world. And for you to go and sit down and negotiate with anybody, we have to find when you're compromised. How do you want if they provide you? Let's use a Tinubu with all the history. If Tinubu sits down, I want to have a conversation with anybody in the West. How does he want to do it? If they tell him that, look, we will destroy you, definitely he will look out for himself. Even me, if I was the one, I'll look out for myself. So the day we stop electing compromised leaders, then there's an issue. Nigerians are loyal to Nigeria. Nigerians are not loyal to their leaders. And that's where that's my favorite.
Yeah, I like the way you really put it. I'm being surprised actually. I thought I was going to disagree with you, but Ben, you came up with something that I really agree with. But the problem isn't that the problem is when we are trying to criticize our leaders, we generalize it as the whole Nigeria instead of also focus on the leadership. And that would have been more powerful, don't you think? If Nigerians were overseas saying, like everybody not saying the Nigerian government, the Nigerian government, if they were focusing on the government, that would have been more powerful. But they keep, when you generalize the entire country, you are damaging even the innocent people in Nigeria. The ones that are trying to keep the roof up, we are condemning all of them. Just like Kemi Badenoch condemning Nigeria, forgetting that 40 million Yoruba people are there. It's like firing the torpedo on the ship when you have your family members on it. It's like, why don't we think a bit more rationally about this thing? And this is why this conversation we're having is anyway. Who is next? Have you finished?
I'm next. I'm next.
I can fire. Come on now. Don't be greedy. Let's not be greedy. I can fire. Polly, you are done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you.
Yeah, Judy next. Yeah, man, Judy.
Let Jide go. Jide has something to say. I think I can fire you. You might want to listen to him too. He does have his own.
I said let Judy talk. Let Judy talk. Come on, man.
I can fire. Don't start with me now. Go ahead, please.
Hi guys. Fofaras, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I agree to Alpha, Tony, Richards. I agree. Paul. I like your views, man. I like everyone's view. I can agree to you. I salute. I also respect your views as well. So, as everyone was talking, it was very insightful, and I even took some notes. So there's this idea, it's a solution. I have highlighted on a particular solution that the idea of Pan-Africanism, the idea of Black people coming together, having to connect to our heritage, connect to our pride, connect to the resources we have, harnessing it so that we can show, to emphasize our superiority in the world and leverage on it so we can liberate ourselves. However, there are challenges with that, right? And I'll give the historical, before I go into the historical context, one thing we need to understand is there are challenges. And the idea of us coming together as Black people, just Black people, right? That we have Afro-descendant people, we are from Africa. It's a very great idea. It's a wonderful idea. However, the challenges we have with that is that if you look at African people, both in the diaspora and in the continent, the major challenge that we have compared to what you have in other parts of the world is we don't have shared customs, we don't have shared values, we don't have shared spirituality, we don't have a shared language, we don't have a shared national interest and pride. Those are the major challenges, you understand? So that is why it's an uphill task. And great leaders among African people that have tried to break those barriers, they've either been assassinated or they've been sabotaged. If you look at Malcolm X is one of the best examples of this. Malcolm X, when he left the Nation of Islam, he had a revolutionary idea of uniting Africans, African people, because he had the idea that because during that civil rights movement, as Black Americans and Black people are trying to liberate themselves from Jim Crow and they were fighting for their rights, Africans were also trying
Are you afraid? Are you afraid?
He's explaining it. He's not afraid. He's just explaining it.
So let me continue what I'm saying. So
why you care? Why do you care? Let's fight. Stop going there. We need. They left a mission for us. Why you want to cut it off? You need to know that you need to leave this world protected for your grandchildren. You need to do that. And you need to stop them from asking you, what did you do?
It's not against that.
I cannot come on this platform and say we should carry. I cannot come on this platform and talk about what's going to go and fight. Can I just talk?
Let's go, man.
I'm not like.
We know the obstacles. We know the obstacles.
Hey, don't interject, people. Don't interject, please.
Okay, so let me be quick. So as I was saying, he became Pan-African. He had an internationalist Pan-African view that Black people should unite, and just like what Ikan was saying earlier, like the idea of Pan-Africanism, and that was when they saw him as a threat. and they had to assassinate him. The same thing with Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara had an internationalist view of black people. They assassinated him. So the point I'm making is,
do you know one more person that had that?
There are a lot of them
in Nigeria.
Nigeria, that's a good question.
That didn't make it.
Is it away?
In Nigeria.
Abiola.
Who is it?
Most people don't know Abiola was looking to
work
with
come
African
on,
Americans.
please.
Hold on now. Calm down. Hey,
come on.
Calm down, people. Let me just get this out. Most people don't know Abiola was trying to work with African Americans for reparations and all those things. Did you know that? Did you know he met with them?
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard about
there's no need to say no. This is a fact.
Yes, but Abiola was not a liberation. It wasn't from a liberation. But I agree with you.
Why does
because his agenda is let me say there's a reason why African leaders go to America, they never meet with the African American community. There's a reason why they know they are their cousins there, but they don't talk to them at all. Yeah, they go and talk to the Igbo people all the time. Abiola is one of those people that said, you know what, I'm going to go and meet them. He met, I think, Louis Farrakhan, all of them. He said he's going to work with them. Can you imagine Africa being Abiola being the head of state of Nigeria, channeling Africa to force America to pay reparations to African Americans?
Please,
can you imagine that? Now you can understand. Come on, man. I don't understand why you are laughing about it.
Why does Biafra flag have?
Historical.
Why does Biafra flag?
You know, why does I will try to bring evidence.
Why does the Biafra flag have
right?
that color?
I mean, you are right. It's not a question of. You are right, Fofadas.
MP Abiola was a CIA agent.
Yeah.
MP Abiola was a CIA agent. They actually wanted to liberate Nigeria.
For real?
And Muritala, he played a role in the assassination. Even Buhari, the regime.
Yes, just because you are an agent of a foreign power, it doesn't mean the content that you are operating with them.
No, to Niger.
Why
no, to Niger.
Hold on now.
We're on air. We can't say things that we can't substantiate, please.
Osama bin Laden was an agent of this in America.
Because
they had to put him down.
Abiola was a CIA agent.
Hold on, calm down now.
Calm down. Associate it well. I will educate everybody.
No, nobody's saying he's not. Why are you saying that is? See, you have to understand there is certain things you have to look at things. How do I put it? Individually. Don't always look at things like, oh, because this person is associated with this person, oh, that's it. They are condemned. Everything they do is going to be evil. Not necessarily.
I mean, you can switch up, but we don't.
So no, this man did what he did. He could have just given up. He died in the process of doing it.
He wanted
and they came and met him. Yeah, yes, now they came and met him. Why do you think they feel so strongly that he should not be president? That's what you should ask them.
Why is the Biafra flag like it is?
That he should not be president. Why did he?
Why does the Biafra?
Obasanjo, sorry, I can fire because Obasanjo is just as much as a CIA agent as Abiola can be, and we are all saying it allegedly here. There's no proof of anything. No. As you see what we are saying here. So let's say that's allegedly.
Allegedly,
it's a fact. The one that is not allegedly, that is a fact that Abiola wanted to work with African Americans to demand reparations from America. He wanted to.
Why is the Biafra flag
on Nigeria? And that's a
dangerous thing to get into. Shit. Why is the Biafra flag like it is?
Don't be asking all these random questions, man. Come on, man.
Let you finish. Let you round up.
So what is the?
Did they round up?
No, he has frozen with Abiola phone.
Oh dear. Abiola is there. Abiola lined up.
I think it's my turn.
Call him alleged CIA agent.
I think it's my turn. It's my turn.
Yes. AY, please go ahead. When he comes back, you can finish. Yeah.
I don't want him to. Please don't. I don't know why you put interject. Everybody, calm down now. When it's your turn, you speak. So let's be.
It's your turn now, isn't it? Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know if he's coming back soon. Okay. Let me just. The topic again is, what's your question again, right? The importance to be loyal
the importance of loyalty to a nation. Is it not important? Could you just ignore it?
It might understand you. To be honest, that is not actually negotiable. Unfortunately, I've listened to a lot of Nigeria. They don't understand the importance of nations building. I know there is a lot of hunger in the country, just like Mr. Tony said. You know, people's experiences are different. I agree with that, but but the truth is, the importance of a nation cannot be overemphasized. If you are from a particular, you want to continue, you want me to finish? Jide, you want to continue, you want me to finish?
You can go on. When you're done, I'll just...
Okay. So for me, so we need to understand nation building. A lot of things are going wrong in Nigeria as a case study. That doesn't mean it's not, Nigeria is not the problem. The people are the problem. We had a better country before now. That's what we need to know. We need to understand. So all of us, we are citizens of the country. When you are a citizen of the country, you have to do everything in terms of building the image of the country, helping building the image. It's not, it's our collective responsibility. I know the past 1 week, the social media has been hot about Kemi Badenoch. You know, like, to be honest, I don't want to use bad words for her. I know a lot of people have supported her. I know she just tried to please her paymasters or her supporters, whatever you want to call them, the white nationalists over there in the UK. She is making the biggest mistake of her life. I said it on the platform that she's going to regret it. I can tell you that for free. If Kemi Badenoch, if she has actually go after the bad leaders in Nigeria, I will not have problem with her. If she call her even the president, the leaders in Africa said, you guys need to do better for the people, I will not have problem with her. But if you are denigrating my country, I will have problem with you. Nigeria is not the problem. The people, the leaders, the people, they are the problem. If Kemi Badenoch bashing Nigeria all through, say, oh, you know, the people are very poor, you need to take history lesson. I tell the British people to return artifacts they stole from Africa. All the stolen money coming from Africa, coming from Nigeria, he should do her best. I tell the people over there, I tell them, no African leader will be allowed to bring looted money to this country. In fact, he should help Nigeria. The billions that have been stolen in the past 50 years from Nigeria that is in the UK, he should fight to tell them to return it back to Nigeria. The property of the known politicians with running into millions of pounds, he should fight to tell them this property must be seized. The issue of slavery, she forgot so soon what happened in slavery. He should let her fight and tell them the reason why these people are poor, because you were there, looted their resources, you are still looting. The slavery issue, he should fight for reparation. He should tell her people, her new five country, that all the stolen resources from Africa should be returned, and they should stop stealing from Africa. I don't want to say she's full of shit, but she really got on my nerves. So for some reason, I don't know why a lot of people choose to support her. I know people have a lot of anger against the government, against the leadership in Nigeria for the past many years, the corruption going on. Yes, we have this problem. We are not denying it, but she can't go. Kemi Banidon was not, she's not a poor Nigerian. She was not a poor Nigerian. She lived in VI.
Yeah.
She needs to
It's
shut
women that
up.
lived in VI. Unbelievable.
Even a lot of us that grew up in the village, in the remote area, you don't even have resources. We managed to escape it. She does not have, I don't even know how a child that grew up in VI is as competitive to any part of the world. Is it London? Is it New York?
Oh,
Is
please.
it Japan? Is it...
Oh, come on.
What are you talking about? If you
Victoria Island, have you seen the rent? Yeah, you compete with anybody in London.
Leave issue of the rent. By the time, hold on, please don't interject me. I don't know what is Abig was here. In like 30 years time, what Kemi Banidon was a student in high school, there is no place in Nigeria that was as expensive as Los Dros as VI. Do you know? It's now we have Banana Island, Lekki. These are new areas. VI was the big deal in Nigeria in the last, between like say 40, 30 years ago, 20 years ago even. Lekki is just new. Banana Island, these are new areas. The Asokoro you hear, these are new areas. VI was the deal. So let her keep her mouth shut and stop embarrassing herself. We love it like that. We have issues in Nigeria, internal issue. We will deal with the issue. Nigeria is not the problem. Again, the leadership, the people, they are the problem. If Kemi is going after the leadership and she do anything she like with them, I will support her. But don't bash Nigeria. Nation building, you see, your country is your country. Look at, if you know, there was this lady, is it Chidima, that had issue with South Africa during the, I think, Miss World pageant. You know what happened to her? Now, she can boldly say, I'm Nigeria because of her experience. She was giving birth in South Africa, right? Look how they treated her like piece of shit. But today, she's happy. Nigeria accepted her. Nigeria supported her. She's happy. We have issues. We have a lot of Nigerians doing well all over the world. As people, we are doing a lot for ourselves. The problem we are having is the leadership, and that country must be rebuilt. That country, we must fight to take over our country, to develop the country, to make sure the country will work for the next generation, if not now. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Jide, yeah, please carry on. That was a good one. These people, they are causing too much trouble for us. And one of the things I hated most that she did was she didn't just criticize Shetima, the vice president. She attacked the nation, and most people don't see that. She divided the country. It's like, when you want to attack a family, you say, I like this one more. And she attacked the nation, and she knew what she was doing. If she was in Nigeria, she would have been a terrible one, actually, because these are the kind of people that play tribalistic politics in Nigeria. But it's okay. Please go ahead, Jide.
Yeah, thank you, for fathers. Yeah, before the other guy interrupted me on the network, I had a lot I was saying. So the thing is, the major issue are those things I mentioned earlier, and the people that have tried to break those barriers, they were assassinated or sabotaged. So now, let's look at a country that has diverse people, diverse values, right? Like if you look at Russia, what Russia have been able to do, right? They have different type of, they have mostly white people. They also have mixed Asian people in Russia. It's a multi-ethnic country, multi-religious country. If you look at that country, how they're able to develop that nationalism, that's why you feel like they have their differences, is you have leadership, and they were able to go through the same historical evolution together as a group of people within the same geographical space over centuries. You had the Russian Empire. So you had multi-ethnic group of people that were together for centuries in a particular empire. Then you had the Soviet Union that was built under the ideology of communism that united everyone together. You understand? So now, I'm not saying Nigeria should be communist or capitalist or wherever. What I'm saying is Nigeria as a country, right, or yeah, different. The issue we have is because Nigeria itself is still built under that colonial foundation. Under that colonial foundation, that's why majority of us have identity crisis. I would even say, yeah, majority of us have an identity crisis because Nigeria, what our leaders have failed to do historically is they've not been able to provide that nationalistic consciousness that we are supposed to have as a group of people. They failed to do that. So a lot of us identify ourselves based on our ethnic identities, you know. So first of all, to even bring a group of people together based on their multi-ethnic difference, multi-religious differences, you need nationalistic consciousness. And that nationalistic consciousness has to be by socio-political ideology. And how can that be implemented? It can be implemented through our educational system. So now, this is now where my second point is now going to come into. So I will now link it to Kemi Badenoch and all the other so-called black traitors that we have. I will use that. Our educational system is horrible. Our educational system is horrible in Nigeria. Our educational system does not channel the people of Nigeria, Nigerian people, towards national development. Instead, our educational system was still built on that colonial foundation for us to achieve whiteness. So we cannot try to achieve whiteness and at the same time try to develop our country. We cannot have it both ways. It's not possible. So the thing is, our educational system has to change. There has to be a revolution within our educational space. So for someone like Kemi Badenoch is just a manifestation of everything I've said. Number one, she has an identity crisis. That's why she can say she's Yoruba. She cannot claim to be African first because there is no African political consciousness or African political identity that makes her share customs, values with another African. That's number one. Number two, the people of Nigeria, not everyone, but most of us tend to identify our heroes or the people that we see as our heroes or successful people as people that integrate with the white system. Meanwhile, these same people, they serve as traitors. It's not just Nigerians. The same thing, even even the Black American community, to the same thing. Someone like Candace Owens. Candace Owens too, she's a traitor. You know, she may have some views that.
But I'm not so sure Candace Owens passes as a traitor, but it's okay.
She is. You know,
I'm not so sure.
This is how you identify a traitor. A traitor will always negate and condemn people of their own race or their own nationality. In public.
But that's not what she does, though. That's why I don't think she qualifies. That's not what she does. I think sometimes you have tough talk about your people, but it's not necessarily like you're against. I actually saw her making a comment about what is happening within the Black community, and she was almost in tears. And some of these people, we misunderstand them because we look at it from the prism of the Democrats. So we have to be careful.
Okay.
You know.
But what political ideology, what political affiliation does she align with?
She's Republican. She's
Republican. She's conservative, right wing.
She's more conservative.
Yeah, but Democrats are also diabolical to us, just as much as Republicans. Remember,
Democrats
were the ones
Republicans, both of them. There are many. That's the thing. No, I'm not saying Democrats is better. What I'm saying is these people. We have a lot of Black American women. They are revolutionaries. They are politically conscious, and they don't belong to any of those two parties. What about, you understand what I'm saying? The point I'm making is, I'm not saying Candace Owens does not have the views that favor, she condemned the genocide in Gaza. I don't want to digress. Let's continue. The point I'm making is, the educational system for African people and Black people has been our worst enemy. And that educational system has been built from our childhood to ensure that we have that inferiority complex and lose our national consciousness, and for us to want to think of aspiring to be successful by achieving whiteness. So I'll just stop there. Thank you.
I think you are right there. That's why we like to travel overseas, and whenever our leaders travel, we're like, oh my God, they're going to the land of the gods. And when they come back to us, they come back to the earth. It's sad. We have to get totally flip this thing. And you said something that I wanted to ask. I don't know. I don't want to answer, or you don't have to answer. The idea that Kemi Badenoch doesn't have an African identity. We are the ones that create it. You have to create it. You have to claim it. If you don't claim it, who else is going to come and claim it? And we need to start creating these identities that is important to us, because if we have African identity, we are more likely to trade with each other, isn't it? and we are going to gain from it. All these things that we are going to gain from, why we should be embracing them. I think okay, you want to make a quick interjection before everybody loves electricity.
Just Jide, please.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah, Jide spoke about Russia, the diversity in Russia. If you go and there's almost Russia has about 18 ethnic groups, but 81% are pure Russians. And that is why you get things moving in Russia. Any country who have diversity that you don't know exactly who are the majority and who are the minority, you have problem. Russia is 18 or 20 ethnic, but 81% are pure Russians.
How do you explain Somalia then?
Excuse me, I'm talking about, he's not about Russia. I'm trying to, why Russia is getting it right, or India or Pakistan. Go and look at their ethnicities.
But
and
I'm also asking you now, why are you ignoring Somalia that has everything in common?
They have everything in common.
Yeah, the same language, the same religion, the same ethnic group, the same tribe, the same everything. They don't even have another tribe. They just have Somalia.
No, because he was. I mean, he quoted Russia. I'm trying to tell you
something about Russia. Oh. Russia has multi-ethnic groups.
Yes,
right?
Yes. But
so the idea of them being called Russians, just like Nigerians, right? The idea of them being called Russians, that's what I'm saying. It stems from centuries of historical evolution that they're able to develop as a civilization.
Yeah, right? because 80% are pure one group.
Out of that 80%, that's what I'm saying. You have the Tatars, you have different ethnic groups. You have the Tatars, I can go on and on. Like they have different ethnic groups. Just like in Nigeria, we forget
that even in Italy recently, all these nations states you see recently, they were different people. Even France, even different languages, different areas of France.
It's a very good example.
All these nations
we're saying the same thing, but at least there's let's say now in India. India is also a multicultural society, but you have almost 80% or 60% of one ethnic group. That's why they dominate everything. That's why you see them moving forward.
It's not like that. It's not like that. It's just Hindu that is common. The rest they have.
Yes, it's just Hindu. Mention Pakistan. Pakistan is not doing well, number one, and also they have something in common: Islam. That's another thing. Yeah. Pakistan is not doing well, so don't even say they are doing well. They're not doing well.
The point we are trying to make to you, Richard, is that ethnicity may play a role to a point. But if you look at nations that have gone on to be successful, ethnicity wasn't the key reason why they
ethnicity. If you look at the countries that made it, if you come to Europe here, ethnicity is the most important thing. The ethnicity plays a lot of, vital role.
America is very diverse now. So what do you make of America then?
Why do black people like to fight themselves? Okay, let's say
America is very diverse. So
let's say Europe chases everybody back. Where are we going to? Which black country can we go to?
You go back to Africa now. What do you mean? Which black country?
But why are we talking about? For example,
you go and make it work. Who is going to make it work for you?
That's what I'm saying. We need to stop comparing ourselves to Europe. Europe has done their own.
But exactly that we are black people. That we are black people does not mean that we have to live together.
Why not?
That we're black people.
Richard Okpara, Opera is even in the southeast. You have people that want to divide themselves.
Everywhere.
So where does it end? Even in families, they fight each other to the death. Sooner or later, you have to say enough is enough. We have to work for the collective good.
No. Excuse me. So sometimes there conflict is when conflict is a bit remote. You can solve it. Nigeria's problem is so big. How are you going to solve this problem? That's what we're trying to
do. You know that what I've discovered in life is that sometimes when you have a problem, I'm coming next to you. Sometimes when you have a problem, it seems like that problem is insurmountable, but the moment you solve that problem, the opportunities that lies beyond that is just infinite. That is one thing I've realized in life.
Father, you are very correct, because in Latin there's something they call solvito ambulando. And what it
Oh,
translates to in English is that as you begin to solve a problem, you begin to get to the answer.
thank you. Everybody loves
Yeah,
electricity.
first and foremost, Father, this topic, in my opinion, should have been heard on Saturday on your part 2, for you to really get people to come and weigh in on this, Nigeria in particular. And if you are going to be alive at the end of this program, you consider yourself fortunate to be alive. Because I came in because of just the topic, which is a good topic. How is it important to be loyal to our nations? Which, from the head to the toe, unfortunately, we are not. We only see the problem. We see ethnicity as a problem. Yes, the Europe have their differences, but if they can accommodate us, blacks, if they can accommodate us, why can't we accommodate each other? I'm a little bit confused here now. I mean, Richard was saying we blacks are not supposed to live together, or we're not meant to live together, whatever. But you're living among whites. Why are they accommodating you?
No, sir.
I'm a little bit confused.
I think you
Now,
have misunderstood me, sir.
let me finish, please, if you don't mind. You can rebut or challenge me later on. If only we can tell ourselves the truth. Now, I want to pick the Constitution, Section 23 and Section 24, talking about the national ethics and duties of the citizens. And if we can read that and identify with that, then we will understand the topic of loyal to our nation. Ethnicity will not be a problem. Let me shock you. Do you know we all here, we have the same common ground? We have the same common ground that we can agree on and fight and change the nation. But what we do is we put the cart before the horse. For example, there's no electricity in the country. Yes or no? It's a yes. So let's imagine we all are back in Nigeria now. We are sitting in Nigeria now. There is no light. So we now have a common ground to say, you know what? It doesn't matter whether you're an Igbo man or you're a Yoruba man, you're an Efik man, you're this and that. We have one common enemy, darkness. How do we fight this enemy? Because it's affecting every one of us. It's affecting your business as an Igbo man. It's affecting the Hausa man, even as a goat rearer. It's affecting me and the German, the fisherman, because I need to preserve the fish. It's affecting the tailor. But you see, we don't recognize what affects every one of us. Even the stampede, let's remove spirituality out of it, is born out of hunger, which every one of us are facing. We fail to recognize that. All we go about is our ethnicity, our tribe. Does hunger know ethnicity and tribe? Does good or bad road knows ethnicity or tribe? No. If you want to board a plane today in Nigeria, do you go ask the captain which ethnicity is from? You don't. You just pray, oh God, let this plane carry me from point A to point B. It's high time we start to. When I talk about the Constitution, people come here argue, oh, the Constitution is our problem. The Constitution is our problem. There is no perfect Constitution in this life. None. It's reviewed every time. When something happens, it gets reviewed. They amend it. Citizens get involved. You see, the problem, yes, I'm not saying our leaders are good. They are terrible. Some of them, they are from the pit of hell. But you know what? They still came out of us because we, like I think yesterday or 2 days ago, Adama was saying that if they put some of us in position of leadership in Nigeria, we'll be more terrible than Tinubu, and I agree with that 100%. We're more terrible than wicked. Because we are here now, we are in the diaspora. Why are we sitting down here? Is it not because of electricity? It's not because of the internet. Oh. Forget about the internet. It's because as I am talking, I can charge my laptop and stay here for the next 5 hours. There is electricity, which we all should key in and start to preach. This issue of, okay, where is the IPOB that was declared November something? Where are they today? Film trick is gone into wherever it is. They've scammed people. They've declared the declaration of Biafra. Where is it today? Where is the Yoruba nation? Oduduwa nation? We are here saying Kemi Badenoch. Listen, Kemi Badenoch has made a name for herself. She's likely to be the next. In fact, people on this platform will know I address her as my sweetheart. She has made a name for herself. She most likely will be the next British Prime Minister if all things go well. And if she becomes the British Prime Minister, she's likely to declare the Yoruba nation or be in support of it. So we are here lamenting Kemi Badenoch is not the nationalistic, it's not this and that, it's not this and this. Come on, gentlemen, let's outgrow this. Focus on the topic, please, respectfully. How important, because that's why I say, Father, this topic should have been heard on your part too. You will see the terribleness of Nigerians that will come out. Who are you to say we should be loyal to our nation? Who are you to say they'll be loyal to this and that? They will hit you raw. And these are the same people that want change for the nation. So if I am not loyal, I'm not saying Nigeria is good, please. Let's get this clear. We have terrible problem. But at the same time, the solution also is at our fingertips. Let's see what we can do, what binds us together, what makes us one. What makes us one? And key in on that. The injustice makes us one. Somebody who stole chicken is in prison for 14 years. That is an injustice. It doesn't matter whether it's a Yoruba man. Nobody has ever asked. Father, I don't know, has anybody asked the tribe the guy is from? No. We're all shouting about the injustice. So that is the key thing. Let's focus on what? On the meat of the matter and not just periphery things, saying we shouldn't be. If the white man say all of us should go, what are we going to say? We will say, oh, they are bad, this and that. Come on, let's grow from this. I yield the floor back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is one of those times you really do sound like a statesman, you know. And I wish we have more people from the north come in, because we do have west. We are mostly southerners here. If people from the north come in and sound like this, it's going to give me a signal that we are really getting ready to really transform that country. Maybe it's already happening. Because look at Niger, Chad, all of them are kicking the French out. Do you know that has helped Nigeria? Can you imagine all these nations having military bases, foreign military bases surrounding Nigeria, and Nigeria doesn't have any? And that gives Nigeria a little bit of shield. If all these countries have pushed all the only areas now foreigners can move into Nigeria and cause problem. Like when we talk about foreigners, real foreigners coming fly, is through the sea. And if we secure our region, we do have a chance. I don't know why our presidents, our leaders are so timid about taking charge. And if we control that region, my goodness, the prosperity Nigerians are going to see, my God. And people will happily do business with us. Nigerian Africans, for some reason, they really do like Nigeria. You say whatever you like about, they say we are scammers. Africans do like Nigeria a lot. They want to do business with Nigeria. They want to trade with Nigeria. And we are just not taking, when I check the amount of export Nigeria does, almost all of them are from petrochemical products. Nothing else. It's like we don't even so close to export. We don't sell anything. Sandals, towel, even towel, we don't sell anything. Only petrochemicals. What are we doing in that country? Let me allow Sentica say his piece, and then we'll round up and seal this one up for the day. Janaba is coming now. All these enemies of progress, when they hear that there is progress about to happen in Nigeria, they come in and try to bring it down. It's all right. Janaba, you're welcome. Sentica, please go ahead.
Yo, what's the topic? Is this still the same?
No, it's the same about loyalty to the country.
Man, I.
Oh no, you've already spoken. Okay, let's set you aside. Let's set you aside. You've already spoken, and let's bring in the Oga. And you see, I mentioned that there's no northerner. He decided to come in. I really appreciate your jumping in, even if you are not a northerner. you are middle belt or Benue. But thank you for joining us. What do you make of this conversation about loyalty to the country? It's quite a serious question. I like the way the seriousness or gravity that everybody loves electricity spoke about it. So what do you make of it? Welcome.
Thank you once again, forefathers and the fellow panelists. I think we love our country. The reality is that Nigerian, despite and every other African country, the influence of the West in order to hold us undeveloped because they use us for their own. It's a modern slavery, but then we just have to have a common goal in terms of a leader that we take us of this mess. We need a very decisive leader that will not be a puppet to the West and give birth to new ideology that we make us competitive in 21st century. The damage, we all know, we can't take it away, but how long will we become a nation with all these resources, or a continent as Africa that we have all it takes? How long will it take before we are able to become our own free people in our land? In 21st century, I think our forefathers will not imagine us being in this situation by now. They would think with all that is available to us that we could have break through the obstacle and establish our own way of life. But when we have people like Tony that we hold us and use religions to tame us, it's a long way to freedom. And we are, apart from any other thing, love electricity used to be a pastor too. And those are the things that have kept us. I think we cannot say other countries around the world don't have religion, but they know how to use religion. Our own, when we have headache, instead of taking medication for it, we pray, and we think that has worked. And it's a mess. And I hope people like Tony can let us go for once, so that we can go and develop our own way of life. Traditionally, Africans have all those things, but it's not in measure, which you have seen recently that they are using bitter leaf to make some certain medicine and have so many things that are transforming. I hope we can do that in our own century in a modern way, so we break the loose from this dependence in foreign products, which our is more original.
All the conversations we've had this evening, I think the other one was about education, what we need to do, and then this one about this in loyalty. We discuss them as if like it's something nice for us to do. It's not just nice; it's essential. One way or the other, it has to happen if we are going to make it in this. If we even going to stand a chance of making it past this century, it has to happen. It's like can anybody project into the future for the next 100 years us not remaining like this? I think the world will leave us like this. Can you project into that future where they will just leave us to remain like this and they just do their own thing? What if one person decides that, you know what, I feel like I want to take that land? What happens? So, in my mind, we don't have a choice. I'm a lazy man. I would rather just chill out. But when I see that, this chilling out is going to kill me, I don't want to die. I don't want my children not to have a future. I don't want to see our people perish.
Your forefather in the
So
future.
we don't have a choice.
Forefather, in the future, the concept of nation state, the way it's organized right now, will not be there in the future that you're talking about, right? This nation state concept will no longer exist. You're gonna have like fragmented small nations. You're not gonna have this concept of nation state where there's a border and everyone can come in and no one can go in. No, that concept will be gone. You know what I'm saying?
Is it not already going? It's already going to an extent. If you look at the European Union, most parts of the world, they don't see the border even. It's only us that see the border. Most parts of the world, they just get their passport, they travel. They go, wherever they want to go.
Look at technology. Yeah, look at technology, for instance, right? How it's bridging the gap between people from, like you can speak with someone in Mongolia, right, on Facebook. Right now, imagine a technological advancement that would breach the gap, like in terms of like transportation, where you can travel from Nigeria to Europe in like 30 minutes, right? And you can just go in there and shop and come back, right? And can you imagine what the world will look like? This whole concept of like New World Order, right? People like look at it like it's some kind of diabolic concept. It's not diabolic. That's where humanity is going to go. We have to, you know what I mean? Because
no, but you are making it sound as if it's a given. It's not a given.
You
could have a dystopian future where elites control everything, and these borders you're talking about.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. You know why? Because like even though what we look at on the surface level is this whole concept of this one elite is doing this, that like what I talked about yesterday, right? You say, we say stuff like Elon Musk is building rockets, but if you go to the facility, it's people from different backgrounds, different parts of the world.
Seriously, you want to go back there again?
It's human. Like we are.
Okay, no, Seneca, let's not go rehash it. You want to go back there so that people understand what you're talking about. You know what the Seneca is arguing? If you hire people to build your house, that you are not the one that build the house, is them that build the house.
No, I'm saying like the concept of nation state, because like if like let's say, like for instance, Nigeria right now, in terms of technological advancement, we are behind. We like in the 40s. Nigeria is stuck in the 40s. We might have like cell phones, like Apple phone, but we stuck in the 40s. Like our infrastructure is not there. We don't have access to the internet. You know what I mean? Our access to the internet is like limited. But I feel like it's gonna come to a point where the advanced nations, when they will become more enlightened that they are, like the Western world right now is kind of tribal. You know what I mean? They are maintaining their own tribe. They are closing in and, not letting anyone in, even though we all can travel there. But that you are kind of left out in terms of, the key things, the rest of the global south are left out. I believe that in the future, these type of people will not be running things because humanity, our survival depends on that. The survival of humanity, right? Like the nature will do that in a certain way. Like if you look at, for instance,
hold on. You are talking about something completely outside the topic for one.
It's not outside the topic. I'm saying
there's a lot of assumptions there. That
no. I'm saying
that dangers that could stop it from coming to fruition. That's the ideas you are espousing, like the people will have the power and there'll be a world kind of government situation. I believe that there's we are heading in that direction where there has to be a global system in place. Question is, are the people going to control it, or are the elites? The elites have been controlling it forever. So what is the difference?
Well, prior to the industrialization, right? It was in a feudal system. The kings own everything, right? Technology came in and
they own everything now.
They own everything up to now.
I don't know. We keep thinking that
really changed.
They changed that much. We've not changed that much.
It has changed a little bit, man. I don't even want to. It has changed. It's not as it was before, where the kings and the kingmakers own everything, right? It is slightly that,
No, it is
but
the
it's
owners
not
of
full.
multinationals that own everything.
I need to do that numbers. I need to do the numbers because when I heard in Sweden that top 1% owns more than 90% of the wealth of that country.
No, that's true.
That is Sweden. That is considered socialist. That is Sweden. So that and I need to find out how we used to be before, where we used to have kings, because you have chiefs. Those chiefs own things. You know, a lot of people own things in those days. So I don't know the division of wealth in societies before, but it would be good to check from what is happening before compared to what is happening now. But
yeah, so like the issue of Nigeria, like when it comes to corruption, right? Everyone, all of us, we all could agree the way things are going, corruption will not change. You know what I mean? It's the order of the day. You know, it's not going to magically, if you elect the best guy today in the system called democracy, where you ruled only 4 years or 8 years, everything he did, you know, in that 8 years will be undone by, you know, when the elites take over. They will come in and undo all that stuff and get back to how it was prior to the changes, right? So I believe that, you know, we might not even be able to change the system. It might be inherent in like how humans.
Let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question because you're painting a picture. So let's say we don't change anything. The security forces are the same. Our politicians remain corrupt. You said something about remaining in the 40s. If we remain like that for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years, what are the prospects? What if you want to project? What are the prospects for us within this period?
Within this period,
yeah.
Well,
if we remain as we are now,
Nigeria is a very it's an nascent state, right? It's a young nation compared to America. America's been around since the 1800s, right? In the 50 years, I believe that technology, right? This is the thing, you know, there's this duality that exists, right? You know, we want to do something. And there's something in our mind, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a part of our brain that's going somewhere, regardless of what we want to do. Like if you look at technological advancement, right? It's progressing more than we are actually progressing in the way we do things, right? That's why, you know, it feels like we are slaves to our cell phones, right? This technological advancement could push humanity where we have to be at, because the survival of our species and the survival of the planet depends on that. So it's like,
so I'm not talking about the planet. I'm talking about Nigerians and black people.
About Nigeria.
It's like remain like that.
It will get to a point where Nigeria won't even have an option but to get to the.
I think
what if you are not answering the question the way I asked it. No, I wanted you to answer the question the way I asked it. I said, if we remain like this, as backwards as we are now, and like you actually ascribe it to be sometime in the 40s or somewhere in the 40s. If we remain as we are and we are not progressing and the world is developing, what is your prognosis, if you want to look at it? What's our future going to look like in the next 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years?
Here's what the future is going to look like. Nigeria will not exist. Lagos State will be an underwater city. Not just Lagos State. Most of the states, even in the East, you know, we look at it like, you know, it's not in non-disaster zones because we don't experience natural disaster. But with the issue of climate change, Nigeria will be affected. You know what I mean? If you look at the predictions, Nigeria will be heavily affected. Lagos State will be an underwater city, period. If you properties in Lagos in the 2050 onwards, that's all.
Do you think that's all the penalties you have to pay?
That's a huge penalty, dude. That's a huge penalty.
If that's all, then that's fine. So let's say I will put the question from the top down so that everybody gets a chance to. Tony, where do you stand on this? If we remain as we are right now, what is our prospects in the world for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years?
That's a double-barrel question. Well, first of all, let me just say that I'm not going to dignify John Abbas' comment, particularly his name calling. That would be infra-dig for me, so I will just neglect that. Now, straight to your question. That would be a disaster. I don't think that Nigeria is going to remain the way it is, for that length of time. No, I don't think so. I think in the life of every nation, there comes a time when if change doesn't come by naturally, it will be forced to come. So, and if you look at the trajectory of a lot of countries, what is happening in Nigeria is not just peculiar to Nigeria. I have a feeling that we'll get to a place where we will all come to realize that this path that we are going is not one that will lead us anywhere. And so something will happen. I don't know what. But I guess that until that we get to that place, that stage, it will look as if something is not happening. But I can bet you that this is not going to remain, forever, because there will be a total breakdown of law and order if it continues the way it is now.
So this law and order is a breakdown amongst the people, so within the country itself. So the outcomes then, where would you see the outcome? Do you think Nigeria will be fixed, or we're just gonna bumble like this?
Yes, you're asking me to make
and
a
also there is also the other aspects of the geopolitical weather that is going on. If you take that into account, where are we going to be?
Tony, so we depend, most of our revenue depends on oil. If humanity move away from fossil fuel, where are we going to be making revenues from? You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing.
Okay. Let me. Fossil fuel. If it goes, we still have other hydrocarbon deposits that we can use. But apart from that, Nigeria is richly endowed. We have solid minerals. We also have now, if you talk in terms of knowledge, intellectual capacity, those are things that capital. We have that capital, scattered all over the world. Those are assets, that you cannot quantify. But what I'm saying is that anything can happen. If you look at countries whose problems were ethnic in character, Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, you know the history, you know what happened to them. If you look at countries where it's injustice, America had problems between North and South, and somehow they resolved it. If you look at even Russia, when you had both the Mensheviks and the Bolsheviks, and you had the Russian Revolution, and it resolved itself. So in the history of every nation, there's any country. What I know is that any system of oppression, that you find in a country, history has always told us that they don't last long, they crumble. So whatever is the issue that we are going through now, somehow it's going to resolve itself. Now, what is going to be, I don't know. Whether we're going to have a disintegration, I don't know. Whether it's going to, I don't know the direction, but definitely my view is that it will not remain the same way it is now. That's my submission.
Thank you. Who is next? I think it's Richard. So if we carry on bubbling like this, where are we going to end up in 10, 20, 50, 100 years? Taking into account the global dynamics too.
I don't see Nigeria lasting so long. I mean, if the situation remains like this, I don't see Nigeria beyond 20, 30 years. If nothing is done as quick as possible, because
so what do you think will happen?
There must be. I've said it before. We have to sit down and discuss the unity and way forward.
No, that is your suggestion. But what do you think will happen?
That's my opinion. But
what will happen if we don't do those things then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That people take laws into their hands, and and which we don't pray for. look, we have to be honest with ourselves. Even Russia we're talking about today, Russia is a federation. You have republics in Russia. They have their own president. They have their own parliament. Just like in the UK where you live. Look, let me tell us, Scotland, Scottish pounds is different from English pounds. Scottish pounds is different, but it's in one UK. Scottish has that 100%. I've lived in Scotland in Stirling. I've lived in Stirling. Scottish pounds has nothing to do with queen, king or queen. It has nothing to do with royal pounds. I've lived there for 3 months when my company sent me there in Scotland.
But they say it's not different too.
It's different. It's different.
Pound, Scottish pound are not different from UK pound. Scottish uses the same currency as the
no. As we speak, Google it now. As we speak.
I just Googled it now.
Yeah, it's the same. It could be the same. But what I'm saying, there's nothing like queen or king on that on the note, back note.
Oh, maybe the denominations may be.
Yes.
Yeah. The way they print it, maybe
the way they print it. There is nothing like queen or king or anything. No, even King Charles is not on the back notes now, but it's in the same UK. If Nigeria can come to this, that kind of system where every geopolitical zone can govern themselves, but Nigeria remains one. But we go to our geopolitical zone
is governing in itself right now, don't you? Like the governors have immunity. Do you know that?
No. Excuse me. Now you have what I'm saying. You have 5 governors in Southeast. That's what I'm not.
But they are governing. That's why they form what is it? Ohiago? I've forgotten. I don't know.
Forfara, you're talking another team, please.
They are organized now as a group.
What I'm trying to say is that let Nigeria go the way UK is, where you have wealth, where you have.
The UK is so draconian. Do you know the UK is more draconian than Nigeria to the other parts of the country?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's more dictatorial to the regions than Nigeria is.
But excuse me, but Scottish manage their own affairs, right?
No,
the same
they don't.
Thing
Actually, they don't. Their resources goes to the center.
But
oil resources go to the center. The center decide to give them their share. That's how it works in the UK.
But they have their own parliament, right? And their own police, everything.
The states have their own parliament.
Yeah. So okay, but what I'm trying to say, because Nigeria cannot continue this way we are going to, whether you can conduct election in 2027, 2031, no. The whole thing is the whole thing is just not working. We have to come down from our horses and accept that this system is not working, and then let us discuss the system that can work for us. If we want to go back to regional, fine. If we want to go to 6 geopolitical zone, fine. But having these governors, 5 states in the Southeast, who are just doing nothing but looting, and other governors, what they do, nobody knows what they do. Collect money from Abuja and then leave. Go to Niger Delta and see the devastation of one unitary system. So we have. I don't see Nigeria going. I mean, beyond 20 years, if something is not rapidly done. So we have to sit down.
I wanted you to play it in your mind so that you will get an idea of where you see it going, because you might be onto something. Say 20 years, something didn't change, and what happens? People start fighting each other to break the country up.
Nobody knows.
But in your mind, let's play it out that happens. Let's say it happens, we fight, and it was so bloody that we created 10 nations out of it. Then what? If nothing changes, because those leaders that remain in those countries remain
no. Excuse me. Let us not just think that if Nigeria, but I don't pray so. I don't wish so. If Nigeria is no longer, that everything will collapse. People, no, countries have collapsed and get better.
No, I
You go, of course. Excuse me. I was here when they fought Yugoslavia war. Go to Croatia. Go to Slovenia. Go to Montenegro. Go even Serbia. You know, go to Kosovo. Are they not better now than when they were in one country fighting themselves?
Each of those states, you can say they are better, but however, most of those countries have lost their sovereignty.
Wow. And the reason why they are better is not because they broke up, it's because they joined the European Union.
No. Because excuse me, Serbia has not joined. Serbia is still not a member of the EU. But Nigeria is going to Serbia to borrow money and buy military hardwares in Serbia.
However, the same country that fragmented Serbia, they are using Kosovo as a bulwark to destabilize Serbia. But I don't want to.
I hear what you're saying. I guess we've had his point of view. That's his own opinion. He feels like that is how it's going to play out. Paulie, so where do you see us, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years? We keep bumbling at the bottom like this. So I don't know what taking into account. I keep saying it so that people don't forget. Taking into account the geopolitical weather, America is challenging China, China is challenging America, Russia, all this stuff going on. Based on history, where do you see us being if we remain like this?
Let me just let me say something quickly. We keep comparing ourselves with countries outside in Europe that's splitting and comparing it to Africa. Look at which African country has split that is in peace today. In the continent, we should stop comparing ourselves. Those people have already organized themselves before us.
So can't we organize ourselves?
Pardon?
Can't we organize ourselves? Are we not one be like them?
Okay, that's one. Then when we keep complaining about the country, we all have representatives in our individual states. Why can't we hold them accountable? Those are your representatives. I think. No. Wait. Let me say this. To change the country, it's not from the top. It's from the bottom. The people that you send to go and represent you.
Who sent them? Who sent them? Nobody sent them.
Wait now. Yes, you did not send them, but somebody elected them, or they forced themselves on you.
Okay, fine.
They come every 4 years. At least they should give you clear terms of what they have gone to do for you. If they do not do, they don't do. You come as a people and force them out. If you need to beat them, you beat them.
No, come on.
Yes, no. I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
Is that so much to ask? Personally, I don't see that as big.
I'm not talking.
You have to fight for your people.
You have local government chairmen. You have governors. You have senate. And none of them. You don't hold them accountable. All of you are chasing Tinubu. None of us can get to Tinubu because of the security. The people you can get to is your local government chairman.
You can't even go.
Allocation that was.
You can't even go. You can't even go close to your local chairman.
At least you know the touts that hang around him. At least when the election has stopped.
You want to take law into your hands, then.
Yes, before I know it's not the law you want to take into your hands.
You are the law to an extent.
It's not the same law you
have to change it. If you feel like the law is not favoring your people and the people are suffering, all those people that are suffering, they have to find a way to organize themselves. That's what. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Mr. Richard. You just said that if we don't change, something's going to happen, which is not see the same violence we are going down. So why don't you start holding those people accountable? You're a representative. You send them there to do the job for you. And if they can't do it for you, you deal with them first. They are the ones that should speak for you. That's why you are elected. That's why they are there. As a people, we have said, you are the one we have selected to go and represent us. This is what we want you to do for us. If you do not do it for us, whether it's a local government chairman, there's an expectation of him. Whether it's the council, there's an expectation of him. If he doesn't meet it, you deal with him accordingly. If the people if he has touts around him, you wait. There are times when those touts, election will cool down. Those touts will be around. By the time you catch them, you deal with them. Yes, you're not the same people you say want to go and deal with the president. want to deal with Nigeria. Is it not still the same fight? So why don't you start from the beginning? If you can't deal with if it's when you can't once those representatives, you have dealt with them. Anybody that is coming after them, we know that these people, or if I go there, I have to represent them.
Thank you.
So that one is by
but you have not given us a prognosis of where we are going to be. We keep highlighting the problems when we ask questions. We want where we are going to be, not tell us the problems. So what will happen?
If Nigeria continues down this route without getting, God blesses us with some good, better elites to govern us, we are going to continue being what everybody wants us to be. Extraction for resource. That's all we're going to be. Both human, mineral, whatever. That's what they want us to be. That's our position in the state of affairs of the whole world. That's what we are. Anytime that's why they are giving us higher skilled immigrants, whatever statuses, everywhere in the world, to get the best of the best out of everybody, the whole continent. By the time they extract all of you, the best of the best, and they leave sycophants for you to rule over you, and those ones are compromised, then they tell them, those compromised idiots, what to do. So by the time they've extracted human being, they extract the minerals, they extract everything, what will we become? We will just become a wasteland. So they will get better leaders. There's nothing we can do. All this money to unite explanation, it's not going to get better until we get better leaders.
So your prognosis that we are going to be a wasteland, they are going to use us for resources, human and natural resources.
Compare Nigeria 30 years to today. It's not getting worse.
Yes, that's for the next 100 years. They are going to do that.
When growing up, Nigerians were not trying to japa. No Nigerian. By the time how many people traveled and came back? But at the moment, the way we are, given any opportunity, somebody be a banker or somebody be working in another company, we sell off everything and say, no, I'm traveling out to do what?
Thank you. So let's go to Jide. So the question remains, I don't know, you got the question now.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, let me start quickly. So I was going to say that I was going to reply to some things forefathers and the central discussed. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting topic. Technological advancements and its influence in its impacts in development. So I think you guys are looking at the positive side, but there's also the negative side, right? It's like the negative side is that it has impacted how humans have evolved. The way technologies have been advancing, how we interact with each other, social relationships, even our psychology and so many things like that, So there are many positive impacts of technological advancements, but at the same time, people have even said that the more we have access to technology, the more we are getting less happy, the more it's affecting our brain circuits. I don't want to go into that realm. But what I'm just saying is that most countries have liberated themselves from Western imperialism, like China. If you look at the way they've technologically advanced, some people even make a case that they've technologically even advanced more than even the West. And because the kind of technology you have as a country or as a region, it also influences the kind of power that you have, right? So it has its good side, it has its bad side. I'll give an example. If you look at Russia after the revolution, or before the revolution,
how does this affect our prognosis?
Okay, let me go to the point. I don't want to digress. Okay. So the point is, the way Nigeria is right now, the way Nigeria has evolved, if Nigeria keeps evolving like this, where we are a weak state, we don't have any sovereignty, we lack technological assets or innovation and stuff like that. The people are not living they're not living well. There's poor quality of life and everything. There's high level of poverty. All the negative things that we know about Nigeria. Nigeria, first of all, would eventually go into anarchy. But before it gets into anarchy for the next 50 to 100 years, what happens is before a country gets into anarchy, what you have is the state becomes repressive. And we're already seeing that right now. The Nigerian state is getting more and more repressive. Things are going to get worse than what it is. and the Nigerian elite will get more disconnected from the people, and more people will actually move out of the country. So we're going to have more of Kemi Badenoch. So in the West, you have more people that are integrating into the system, but they're not going to serve our interests. So you have more people that will actually integrate into the system that will look like us, but they also implement policies against us over the years. Because what we have is, you have more people emigrating to the West, more people of color, but you also have that the white race, the population growth is also declining. So what you have is there's going to be more mixing, and more people that are going to get to a position of power will be from Africa, from Nigeria, from Africa, from India, all those third world countries. But they will also implement policies against the country of their origin or their family origin, which is what we are seeing now. Barack Obama, right? Rishi Sunak, right? Potentially Kemi Badenoch. So it's going to continue. That's number one. Number two, for the next 50 to 100 years, what will happen if things continue like this? We are currently under a genocide. So what we call genocide, right, is a loose term. We are currently under cultural genocide. We've lost our culture. We've lost our spiritual culture. Even our cultural interactions, we've lost it completely. So the next form of genocide is going to be the human genocide, which is, so there'll be anarchy. And when there's anarchy, what will happen is the country will become stateless. There'll be warlords. Warlords controlling different areas. Sectarianism. That's where we are going.
What is going in Nigeria now? Is it not genocide? What is going in the plateau?
We have cultural genocide going on. You're right. It's like cultural genocide is going on. In fact, it's even completed. Because if you go to Nigeria right now, you cannot claim that you are Ifa. They will stigmatize you. They will say you're a devil. So cultural genocide is complete. You can't go to the north and be critical of Prophet Muhammad. They will kill the person. We are more Arab and more European. So that's done. So the next 50 to 100 years, there will be human genocide. People fighting each other, killing each other from time to time. Sectarianism, warlords. You're already having that in Somalia right now. And someone was talking about climate change. That person must be I really agree with that thing. We're also going to have human catastrophe is going to happen. But at the same time, you're also going to have a situation whereby there will also be widespread what are you calling it? Climate change catastrophe, flooding, a lot of issues. At the same time, when all these things is happening, the imperialists will continue taking our resources. They will continue taking our resources, using our resources for their progress. And I think, that's a different conversation right now, but there's an agenda by the so-called globalist elites to have a one centralized government, one world centralized government. I don't want to go into all that. But what Africa will serve is that our natural resources will always serve that interest. And whether those states are in anarchy or they're in catastrophe, they don't care. As far as they have their interest at heart. That's why I keep saying it. We need to liberate ourselves from Western imperialism if we really want to get it right. If not, the catastrophe is going to be really bad, if not even worse than what I'm saying.
Thank you. Yeah, that's your opinion. Clearly, some others will disagree. I tend to, let's hear from everybody loves electricity. Since if we don't get electricity for the next 20, 50 years, and things keep, the lights have current returns, and we bring half current back, and things start going in reverse. What do you think is going to happen to us? What's the prognosis?
You know the position of my position. No matter what we say, whether I think I wrote something that technology advancement or whatever it is. The laptop we are using is part of the technology. The phone we are using, if we cannot power it, where do you go from there? I don't understand why we are talking about this either prognosis or whatever it is. Listen, gentlemen, let's stop beating about the bush. Electricity brings development. So let's talk all the technology we want to talk. Let's talk all the conspiracy we want to talk about. Even when a plane lands and taxi in, it shuts down. What do? They plug in electricity into it to run it in the meantime until it takes off again. If you observe that, the wires are there. So I don't want to weigh in on where we see Nigeria in the next 20 or 30 years or or 50 years. I don't want to weigh, I have no opinion on that. So let me just first of all answer that question. I have no opinion on that. So wherever we find ourselves in the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years, Nigeria will still be on planet Earth like every other country, except it wants to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. That is that was where I wiped out. But my hope and my prayer is whether in the next 10, 15 years, 20 years, it should be better than what it is today, what it is right now. That is my wish. But that can only be possible if we, the citizens, come together, agree on a common goal, agree that what is affecting A is affecting B. Like we always say, injustice to one is injustice to all. And fight these demons that is affecting us. But as long as we remain desensitized to whatever is happening in Nigeria, particularly those in Nigeria there, then things will continue as it is. I will always advocate.
Let me just ask on it quickly. When you said you don't want to give prognosis of the future, does that not affect your opinion of what you do in the present because of the concept of, when you are trying to avoid a certain future, it might inform the way you act now? Like if you believe that things are not that bad in the future, you may be a bit more relaxed now. But if you feel
I'm not saying things. I say things are bad now. I also say we need electricity to improve anything. Listen, whoever comes into power tomorrow, let's remove Tinubu. Let's have this imaginary thing. Let's take Tinubu out of it. Let's look for the best man and put in as leadership. Can somebody suggest the best man and not? Let's say Peter B is the best man, and we'll put him there today. It needs to address the issue of electricity. It's just a fact. Because to operate anything, for us to start to compete with the international world, with the speed at which they send messages or they do everything or whatever, technology advancement. Okay, what do you use to power this? When you say technology advancement, you are talking about machines, what they are using. So what do you use to power it? Solar system? Or what do you use to power it?
Electricity is the fundamental engine. That's fuel.
So we need it for us to be able to come. Even the fish seller, the one somebody with the fish, even the for further. There's one thing, one equipment, one machinery equipment in every home in Europe or America where that hardly goes off. That stays on 365 days of the year. Can you name that machine, that apparatus for me, please?
Refrigerator.
I think it's probably I don't know, maybe the meter or something. I don't know.
Refrigerator. No, refrigerator.
I see.
Thank you, sir. It's a refrigerator.
But the meter too doesn't go off. If the meter doesn't go off,
no. The meter doesn't consume for further. The meter doesn't consume. Okay.
It's not the perpetual
except you want to clean it or you are traveling for a long period of time, you turn it off. That thing stays 365 days of the year. And what made that thing possible is electricity.
Correct.
So I am just telling you, I'm not dismissing other concerns. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying for us to start to get things right, we need to fix our power sector, which is electricity, which will boost security. Take for another example, Nigerians women, African women. Okay, let me focus on Nigeria. Women in Nigeria barely can drive at night for so many reasons. But when they come to Europe, after a while, they start to drive. They can drive any time of the day in the night. Because why? There is electricity, there is security. Electricity solves 50% of insecurity, if not more than 50%. So this is what we don't understand. The simple metrics is right in front of us, and we're going to Kafashan or we're going to the moon to say we're going to find it. I don't get us. We all have
Electricity,
a common.
I think we already know that, right? So we're talking about the
Okay.
prognosis of the future. If we keep going where we're going, that's the topic. We know that
I mean,
electricity is important.
I've said my own, so
He
you
said,
don't have
yeah,
to.
yeah.
I've
He
said
doesn't
my
want.
own. I don't know why you
He
disagree
doesn't want
with
to go
mine.
there.
So I don't know why.
He
He
doesn't
does.
want to go there. He doesn't want to go there. That's
I
fine.
don't.
I think
Should I
Jonaba may
repeat
have
what you
something.
want me to say? Should I repeat what you said? Would that make you okay? I don't understand.
No. You deviated from the topic. That's you don't
I'm
got
not
anything.
deviating.
Yeah, you are.
I've answered the question. I said I don't have opinion of 50, 20, 30 years. Did you hear that?
We all know that electricity is important. Like everybody knows this.
Okay, so what's your point?
Like we need a new ID. We need contribution that's like new, something that's like different. You know what I mean? Like we need
You can't
electricity.
Okay, I get what you're saying. He's saying that we know electricity already, but sometimes reinforcing something
There is no
puts it
listen,
as a priority too.
eccentric. Let me tell you this. I'm not doing back and forth here or disagreeing. Whatever new idea will fall from sky, go bring it from heaven.
It's philosophy. Like this is philosophy Sunday. Can you like philosophize?
It's philosophy Sunday. That is why I'm here. We are doing philosophy. So let's do the philosophy. Can we do the philosophy? Okay. Let's go to heaven.
We talk about prognosis.
Wait now, eccentric. Relax.
No. Go ahead. I don't want to.
Let's go to heaven and bring the best idea. Or let's go and meet Elon Musk and ask Elon Musk to give us the best idea to solve Nigerian problem. You come back to the same business. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's let Jonaba contribute to this, and then maybe we'll just round up because we don't want it to go too long. Jonaba
already went.
Has he? No, has he given? No, he hasn't given a prognosis, has he?
No.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Yeah, please go ahead, Jonaba. You know the question now.
I think something will break up, or there will be a change. It's not that difficult. It's just because we have not have. It go to my own understanding. The citizens have to understand their what, and have to understand that the elected officials or whoever, whether they choose themselves or ring themselves there, they are to be held accountable by the citizens. And if there is a good leader that will also come from the top, can force and break the shackle of the people with a clear vision on where we will go. Something has to happen. We can't continue this way. But if we continue, I will pray that even Chad should come and invade Nigeria. Why are we living and been running and making mouth for? If we cannot, at this point, it's even a shame that Nigeria is not one of the influential countries, even if not for the world, but for Africa, that even Naira should be traded within the whole Africa because of lack of vision of the people. And I believe that one thing we break, we know the reason why all of this is because the people, I don't want to name, because these days you can easily go to Nigeria now, they pick you for no reason. The people you guys are praising and all of that, they are the reason why we are where we are today. And if somebody have the ball and get there and push them outside this world, we will have a new Nigeria. The 1% that hold us hostage, they're just very greedy and have no vision for the country.
But that is true. Now let's focus on the prognosis because that is important.
The prognosis that is what I'm saying. That is the only way. We should push them away. Yeah, look at 92 years old.
Not necessarily whether we to push them away. That if we don't change now, what we are doing now, let's say Nigeria remains with this attitude. We don't get the politicians remain as they are. We are still weak on the continent. We are still weak in the global stage. What do you see of our future in the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years?
I think in the next few years you will see Nigerian youth in many other countries being joining their forces, like Russia, China, and then we come back. and take Nigerian from the owners. I'm telling you that because very soon you see Nigerian youth, just you and I have opportunity to have this conversation based on what we can access, which is not available to many of them. The boldness you have and based on your basic human right is instilled in you mainly because of your Western influence. And I believe as many Nigerians travel abroad and get to know their basic human right, even while it is difficult to express themselves in Nigeria, there will be a level that they will break through and they will come back. Russia, any of the world that you see in Nigeria, they will come back and take the land from the Nigerian cabals, whatever you call them. In the next few years, you will see that happen. They will say, and that's one thing when they were talking about Trump, will come and he will take deport people. Do you think they deport me now, go to my village, and one local government chairman will live in that village, and they give them money, and I will sit down? No, he will, even when he know I come, he will come and pay homage. People in Nigeria will change by the foreign influence on us. And I'm not talking foreigners coming to change it though. We, the people, we will get to the level, join forces together and go in the next. It's not going to last. You're going to see how it happens.
Okay, so I hear what you are saying about that. However, the thought experiment was about whether nothing changes. Let's say what you said doesn't happen.
If it doesn't happen, you will see that the Nigerian will fall into. There is a level of movement already. Do you think why people are waiting for you? They have a plan for you even when you are alive, and they have a plan to take over everything from you in the nearest future. They don't just drill on one thing. They think about many years to come, which land will have money resources for them to take. There's a modern way of taking things from the people, and they are doing it gradually. If you go to Nigeria now, we see a lot of China in the village in the night while you are sleeping. So you think they are like black people? Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. You see, thank you for that. I think we are due to be closing soon, but if I'm to think about 100 years from now, I'm closer to where John Abba was, and then maybe Jide touched on that, because if I was then, and based on history, if you look at how the Indians in America lost their land, it didn't happen overnight. It happened gradually. They have a status quo, then it changes, then they take more. They have the status quo, then it changes, then they take more. And the same thing happened with even us on the continent. We had trade with them. They started taking people. They started taking a little bit of people. They started taking more people. They took a lot of more people. They took South Africa. They took other parts. And because of malaria, stopped them for such a long time. When they found cure for malaria, they took the rest of Africa.
Father, here's a prediction right here. There's going to be, due to climate change, there'll be famine.
If I can finish my own, then you can
look this up.
Let me just finish my own first. Now you broke this thing up. If I wanted to
it matches your train of thought, right? Like there's going to be famine in Europe, and there's going to be mass migration from Europe. Who knows? They might be migrating down here.
That is the thing. Now that is what I was getting at, because we don't necessarily know the trajectory of things in the next 100 years. Some people talking about the magnetic pole shift. There was some. I think there was this current issue they were talking about. Ocean current could change the weather conditions, which might mean the people that have more power will say, okay, I want to take this area, I want to take that area. Who knows? China is rising. They may not feel that comfortable in Australia anymore. They want their power base to be somewhere closer to home, which is Africa. Then what do we do? So, and I'm just going based on history now. That's where I was coming from. If we go based on history, they took a little bit on it. They took the entire continent after they had the Berlin Conference. I worry that the world is going through another stage now of similar changes. The West and the East are at competition now, just like the way the British and the French and the Spanish were competing and Germans were competing for land once. When that squabble ends and we are still in a vulnerable state, all better off. Now, we are not talking about just Europe coming to subjugate us anymore. We are talking about billion upon billions upon billions of people, superpowers. if they sign their own kind of Berlin conference, if China decide that they're not going to compete with America anymore, and America says they're not going to compete with Russia anymore, who is going to save us? Can we save ourselves then? Can we truly say we can save ourselves then? Even if it's 0.0% chance of this happening, you want to risk all our 1.45 billion population on that? That is what gives me sleepless nights, because it's happened before. And sooner or later, this quarrel will end. The solution, for me, the solution is you break out of the control. You have to break out of their control. Just like the Chinese broke out of the control. That's why they are not vulnerable to them anymore. The Russians broke out of the control. They are not vulnerable. Pardon?
So how do we break out of the control? That's
I'm not sure who is asking the question. Actually, I don't know.
Me, Paul.
Oh yeah, because you went down a bit. How you break out of the control is change your security posture. That is what Lee Kuan Yew did. Lee Kuan Yew, he knew the country was very strong. He was afraid of everybody around him. All the big nations, Japan almost killed them once. He was due to be executed by the Japanese during the Second World War. So when he came into office, he was like, this one that we even are in a smaller country because they kicked them out of Malaysia or one other country. So he decided to create a policy of the poison shrimp policy. In other words, we are going to be so strong that if you try to mess with us, you too will suffer.
I think for that statement, for that point, I think I disagree, but I would like to finish. I'll explain what happened there.
So he came up with that policy, and if you look at Mao Zedong, the same thing. He knew that if they remained without nuclear technology, they are done for. There's no point going for economic growth. So he went straight after the Second World War, after that period, went straight for nuclear technology. Even if their country was in famine, they were living on rations. Nigeria, I don't think we've ever even lived on rations. They were living on rations in their country, and yet they pursued their nuclear technology to break out of the control of the West. The West was training to nuke them. And this threat, it was not ordinary, because they just used it in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So it wasn't an empty threat. And yet, with all that threat, they still marched forward. They didn't care. Man,
I love how you mentioned
ready for that.
I love how you mentioned Mao Zedong, and then you just like went ahead. Like you didn't even talk about like the political system that he implemented, which was a socialism.
No. There's no point of in mentioning that, because that's not the pertinent aspect of their control. Now, socialism didn't mean that they took control of their country.
That's how they separated from the West.
I don't like distracting people. Socialism, there are countries that practice socialism in Africa. Did they break out of control? They didn't break out. I'm talking about the relevant aspect that you are talking about, socialist system. It doesn't matter what it is.
By not practicing the system, if economy,
I think what Eccentric Gas is saying is that the revolution Mao was able to implement that was successful was built under an ideology. It didn't just, it's not like Peter Obi, right? He had an ideology, and that ideology was a mass.
Let's not worry too much about ideology, and we all know that every system needs their own ideology. But the fundamentals is what that ideology gave them.
But
the nuclear weapon. Hold on now. The nuclear weapon in China doesn't have socialism written on it compared to the one in the US. It's nuclear weapon. So that's what we are talking about. We're not talking about ideologies here. The fundamental aspect is that through that ideology that they had, which is true, they could have chosen any other direction, like many African leaders did. They chose that before economic progress, we have to have security progress first. They went headlong into that. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what Stalin did too, because they were so scared of this Western Europe controlling them, because they just came out of the control of the Tsars, the serfdom, and everything.
In fact, he had a vision that would happen. Yeah. That was why he did that.
You see,
before the
so
Germans came to attack.
That fear, and this is why I ask everybody loves electricity, that if you don't have any projection of the future, does that not inform your behavior today? Because Stalin and Mao Zedong and maybe someone like Lee Kuan Yew, they had a vision of terrible outcomes for themselves, hence why they built what they built, and look at the country today. So, and that kind of vision, that worries me, because if we are complacent, what happened in the past will happen again. It's already beginning to happen. Sooner or later, Trump will be like, I'm tired of this tariff war with China. I'm tired of this. In short, he's already tired of all this hatred of Russia, actually. So now he wants to make peace with Russia. Trump will do that. China is the one that's remaining. If they shake hands with China, if Africans don't start crying that day, I would know that our mumu wear trouser.
But the problem is that
because the trouble we are going to be facing then is going to be almost insurmountable. We can't win it.
But the problem with Africa now is that we're all agitating for separation everywhere. Everybody wants to go their own way. How do you want to negotiate?
We are going to pay the price now.
No,
this is about nature. Nature doesn't care.
That's the only thing that
nature will do its own.
Forefathers, that's the only thing that can give us our guarantee. Let me tell you, why are we doing like this?
You cannot negotiate when you are in a small block. It's not possible.
No, of course we can. Of course we can. Excuse me.
Excuse me. On the losing side.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Excuse me.
That's how we negotiated ourselves to where we are today.
Excuse me, my brother. Let me tell you. In Europe here.
Richard, let me ask you. Can you negotiate with a country that has 1.5 billion in population? Can you? With what? 50 million that you got? What are you going to tell them?
Even today, Nigeria cannot negotiate with China.
Excuse me. Even though China is negotiating with EU, but it's not EU bloc. China negotiated with Germany differently. China negotiated with even.
We're talking about Germany. We're talking about Nigeria. There are two.
No, excuse me. You are telling me why that if we separate, it will be difficult for China to negotiate with us. No.
They will tell you what you should do, and you will listen.
China doesn't. When it comes to the big issues, when it comes to the big issues, China cannot talk to Germany independent of European Union.
NATO, of course. No, of course it does. You can't. Of course. No, of course. Of course.
You say Germany can?
Yes, they negotiate differently.
No, they can't. They couldn't even negotiate. They couldn't even negotiate their deal with Russia. That the Americans, allegedly, tore the pipeline. What do they call that pipeline between Germany and Russia? And do you know?
Pipeline.
Yes. Do you know that there is another pipeline right now there that they can just turn it on? Why do you think they cannot turn it on? Germany doesn't want to end the scarcity of energy and the cost of energy. No, they are not going to turn it on because America doesn't want it to be turned on.
How America doesn't want to? It's already turned on.
It's a bigger game going on. It's a bigger game.
Excuse me. It's already turned off. Let me tell you. China negotiates with EU as a bloc, but China also negotiates with each country here differently.
Yes, but on lower level. But when it comes to the higher level,
no.
They are not going ahead. If EU says no, that nation cannot go ahead. You know that? Like when they told them that you should not use Huawei technology, they didn't use it anymore. They agreed, and that was it. They didn't use Huawei technology in sensitive equipment anymore. Am I wrong? That is not very long ago.
You are not. You are right there. But what I'm trying to say, because my brother is talking about going our separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
But today,
here we go again. You guys are turning this into Biafra. Okay.
No. We have not done it. To be fair, you are trying to do that all the time. I don't know why we are so fixated on this. You know, every time it's like going your separate ways. You forget there is a storm coming. I keep saying it. If you keep pretending as if the storm is not coming, that thing you are fighting for, you are not going to get it. What is the point? What are you fighting for? They will come and take it all, like they took it before already.
The frightening part about it is that we are agitating and going to meet the people that is causing our problem.
Excuse me.
Exactly.
But look, let me tell you, I'm not talking about secession here. I'm saying that we have to come together and make it work. There must be terms and conditions to make this country work.
Yeah, but all of us cannot go on. The problem is that all of us, individual Nigerians cannot go and speak together. We have to have representatives that will speak for us. Those representatives are still the ones in charge.
Polly, this is why I like what electricity said, because we act as if they don't do that already. Our people talk all the time. What do you think they are talking? All the problem is that the people that are talking, they are not talking for you. If you send another set of people go there, what makes you think they're going to represent you any different from the ones that are there now?
For example, the people you voted on Labour today or yesterday, all of them have come to APC.
No.
So now you're talking about, okay, we have to deal with the election before we talk. You see, now the problem is moving. The problem is moving because you know that if you send others to go and talk, they will still come out with the same rules that you have now.
The issue is that most of us, especially, let me speak for myself, we do most of our talking online. A lot of the people who will do the groundwork are those that lack understanding of what their rights are. They lack the education to know what they should be requiring of their representatives. If you don't educate these people, they would.
Is it that they don't know their rights? Or
have you seen? Have you looked at the queue?
Let me add something to you though, because there are quite a lot of, we have how many 7% graduates in Nigeria. They're not totally ignorant. That's more than enough people to turn the country around if they wanted to. So, is it that they don't understand that their rights, or that they've calculated that the trouble that they have to go through to get their rights is too much? So let's just
some Nigerians don't know what their rights are. Most of us just
some don't, but many do though.
Majority of us, we see. Let me tell you, there's something about big man. When somebody calls himself a big man, have you seen when somebody comes from abroad and is driving a big car, the way everybody's prostrated or dogu, or it's a Nigerian thing.
It doesn't mean those people don't know their rights. They gave it up.
They get because they don't know how to fight for it. They don't believe they can get it. They don't believe they can get it.
Yeah, that's the point. They've given up that it's not worth the trouble. Many of them are worried about their personal safety. Many of them are worried for their families, and all the rest. I'm trying to pretend as if you're not there, even if you're honorable. I'm trying to pretend that
you're dreaming.
I'm trying to pretend as if you're not there. Before you start talking about minorities.
People on the platform here and on the panel and those in the comment section. I hope this is not our future.
Can you answer the question?
What is it?
The question is prognosis of Nigeria from 10, 20, 30, 40 years to 100 years time. If nothing changes in Nigeria, what will be our fate? What will be our fate?
Let me answer now.
Gone, but what will be our fate then?
Look, it's up to you. There is no we. You are your own. I don't know where you're from. I'm a Biafran, and I know we're gonna do fine.
The question is, what would be?
Make an answer. I'm not doing this.
What is wrong with you? This is all we think about. Where are we going to be then? Not about you on your own. Where are you going to be then?
I'm going to be in Biafra. I don't know where you're going to be. It's up to you. You want me to choose for you, I choose for you. You can come in. Let me tell you, Nigeria...
Where is the border of Biafra that you are drawing? It does not include Calabar.
It includes even up to Chad. I say I'm different from Nambekano and Nambekano and Samaneka. To me, where I'm basing my thing is what Nnamdi Azikiwe brought, which is the independence of that area you guys call Nigeria. That whole thing belongs to us. So now we're going to have to go all the way to Chad to drain the swamp, but we can. I've made a case. Let me tell you something.
I was ignoring him.
You see the irony of this all?
There's something.
We are arguing about separating Nigeria.
People get fixated on nomenclature.
All of people are still fighting.
Yeah, people, you get fixated on a name, like say Biafra. What does Biafra mean?
I don't
Biafra,
know.
Just think about it as an African now, right? What does Biafra mean?
An expression.
Biafra is
basically southeast now with a little bit of a
which is more than 3-4 countries of Europe. Let us be honest ourselves.
But
which is more than Southeast plus Anioma is more than 4 countries of Europe.
Richard, you are making the mistake of thinking that Europe is separate countries. They are basically one nation right now. They can travel between each other.
Let me land, because I really want to make a more important point. Let me just say how minorities try to define Biafra. And it's, it's like right now we're playing Monopoly, right?
Of course, you have to end up with minorities.
No, because that's the only people who talk about Biafra is minorities. I don't know what the problem is. But the way I define Biafra,
you are the one talking about it. You are the one talking about it. Nobody talking about Biafra.
You have a binary choice in Nigeria. Either you want Western, what they call Western jurisprudence, where it's secular. People are free to worship whatever they want to worship, but it's private. Democracy. That's Biafra. You don't really have a lot of choices. You have Nigeria that is under Islamic threat, right? Who are taking over.
I don't know what your Biafra. You're talking about what is wrong with you?
Because you see, the problem is that you are just imagining things.
How
like
do you
today.
get all the way from Cameroon to Chad?
You're imagining the negotiation, but like today. But remember, we're gonna come with what's called overwhelming force. Now, we will come with that overwhelming force.
We'll be
commanding you to do something. It's not a negotiation. We're gonna tell you what to do. All right. So let's talk about it now, because we're not there yet. Let's talk about you're here.
That's its brain. It's like a lambda. It's like the same lambda. It's like the wavelength is just going in and doing this repeated wavelength.
After all, you started
Pastor, you see, all these you are saying, it sounds funny to an extent, though. It sounds funny to an extent, but where it's not funny anymore is between the relationship between the Southeast and the South-South. This is part of the reason why that region of the country has not benefited this much. At least hasn't had what they consider proper representation in the center. And they have significant population, and they do have things that they have in common. But if you take this attitude of talking about minorities, and you want to create your Biafra, you take Calabar, you annex Rivers State, you annex Bayelsa. That kind of attitude is what leaves us divided. It is serious, Pansat.
Okay, let me respond to you. Hold on. I'm going to be comprehensive in my response. Please give me 2 minutes without interruption, right? Forefathers, you have to live in reality. You're the one who say all the time you are a realist, right? Biafra has already existed for 3 years as a country, minting its own stamps, currency. We have a geographical boundaries, locations. And the Calabar you're talking about, that's the second in command in Biafra. That's a Biafran state, for sure. If there's any Biafran state, Calabar, second in command. And the person who surrender, because you weren't going to have an Igbo man surrender to anybody. So somebody has to do it, and it's from Calabar. Let me tell you about River State. Even if the area you call Biafra, if you just remove it, forget about Imo State, Anambra State, all those places, right? In River State itself, Port Harcourt, there are more Igbos than anybody else. If you go and look at the governors of your state, they're going to be Igbo names. Those are all Igbos. They're just a lot of Wayo. Let me land. They can. I don't know if you're a clan there. The Igbos there will defeat you there. They're not indigenous. They're aborigines. They're from there. But you're not really our problem, because we have to look historically. On August 9, 1967, we came through all that area and took it over. All in one day, we took Rivers, Benin Kingdom, remove that what the hell you call it, the monarchy, right? Remove him. Make them a republic. In one day, only 2 battalions. August 9. I sent you the video of the documentary. So our problem is not even Hausas or Yorubas. Our problem is Britain. We could take over, during that war without Britain and Egypt, we would have taken over Yoruba, Hausa. We conquered you're not getting it. Right now, if I go to, if I say to Emerson, I'm commanding. Let me land.
The agitators of Biafra, right? They're not saying representatives that they elected in the federal government. They don't say anything. They don't do anything about their governors. They don't do anything about their state reps. All their state reps are there embezzling money. all the governors of them, destroying the states, but there's agitation. You know what I mean? For cessation. Like, why are you not doing anything about the elites in the region?
Let me tell you.
Why are we not doing
And the thing about Pansa's one is very special.
Eccentric. I'm gonna get the hell out of this platform if I can't get a word in here. Let me be able to talk.
Hold on. Let him interject, then you can say something.
Yeah,
let him interject. You carry on.
Pansat is one of the reasons why the East agitation is meaningless, because when you disrespect the existence of people around you and you bragging on evil you have done to them without their awareness, and you wear a cap here, and you think the world will live around what you are projecting in your dead dream, that you will come to reality.
Take my time back.
You will take it back, because what you are trying to
mute him. Janaba, you don't belong here. You know Janaba doesn't belong here, right?
People are watching this. People watch this
and they say something reasonable though. And
no, he's not.
If you care about
this and they get panic, because you are now telling people in the Cross River now, if they are watching here, that one man sitting in his comfortable place in California and is talking that they will be taking over without understanding the consequences of your word, because your word and if you cannot come and demonizes people that are here. We are not all majority here, and whatever you call majority,
I think this is quite serious. Actually,
it's up to you.
It's quite serious. Pansa, hold on, so you don't interrupt.
Cannot come and be.
I'm going to say something about this, because this is quite serious.
You're an asshole,
Pansa, hold on. This is quite serious. I remember
you're not going to be out of here.
Hold on now, Pansa.
You can get out of here, because you have nothing to offer than to stir up the fire that you cannot quench. And you cannot be today. Even when you come, forefather tolerate you. Rudolph know the consequences. Don't tolerate you that much. He will take it down, because this is rhetoric is dangerous, and you cannot come and put us all on the face.
That's right. It's actually quite dangerous. Don't do that, Pansa. It's actually quite dangerous.
You cannot be doing this.
What I'm thinking about now, you know what I'm thinking about? I was thinking about when Agui Rosie had to pass a law to prevent people from mocking the northern people that have just lost their leadership. Agui Rosie had to pass a decree, and that was a military man had to do that for mocking. I've never even seen that kind of petty decree before, but it's so serious. What Pansat is doing right now is similar to that, and he's forgetting that there are people listening to what he's saying, and there are innocent people, Igbo people in some of those communities that he's talking about like this. This is exactly the same thing Badenoch did when she badman. I don't know why we don't think far. We just talk. We don't think far about the consequences of our words. I don't know. Maybe Lord Lugard is right. We don't have foresight. That we like to talk, but we don't think about consequences of things or leadership. Pansa, you really need to be careful of some of your words, because these things have ramifications. Sometimes it's like a joke. We laugh about it.
Be quiet. Let me talk.
May not laugh about it.
Be quiet. Let me talk. Right?
No, you cannot be allowed to be uttering anything. You cannot. That is not. You go and create your own channel and make that propaganda. Create your channel and make that propaganda you are making.
No, remove him. Remove him like you did me.
Moderate what you say, please.
To be fair,
for the sake of the innocent Southeasterners in different parts of the country, moderate your tone.
Be quiet, okay? Let me respond to you. Right? Your whole thing here is that you were given a button, so you're gonna see me, an Igbo man, Southeasterner. You're gonna remove him from the platform. You have no respect. You have to have some respect, forefather.
It's now, manipulation. John, just manipulating.
He doesn't belong on this platform. John is a Muslim that's donning a Christian name and coming here to mock us. No matter what's happening,
it doesn't matter whatever religion I belong.
Pastor, take it easy.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter any religion I belong to. I'm a Nigerian. That's what matters.
He's an enemy of ours.
You are the enemy of the whole country.
Forefathers, you have to moderate this thing. I mean, this is getting nasty.
mute all those.
This is hate speech. You know that, right? This is hate speech. You know that, right?
The problem I have is actually not with Forefather. It's with Rudolph.
This qualifies as a hate speech. You know that.
You are in Southeasterners are telling him to calm down, and he's still not doing it.
Mute the guy. You don't have any Southeasterner here but me.
This is a hate speech. You know that, right? What do you mean? I'm a Southeasterner. You're not even. I don't even.
Dude,
you talking about Kigwe, man? You talking about Kigwe, small, a tiny territory in the southeast? Oh, Kigwe, come on, man.
Let Pansat air his view, but Pansat, please moderate what you're saying, please.
Get him to. Let's be orderly. Let's have order now. All seriousness.
You can't think beyond this.
This boy here is not gonna be here when I'm talking. Remove him like you did me.
Let him talk. Please let him talk.
Remove him.
No,
he can incite violence. No, remove the son of a gun. Right?
He's not inside. Other people are here too, and they are not interrupting.
He's not gonna let me talk. There's a lot of creatures from Nigeria who they're afraid of the light. Once I come in here, they're shaking. They don't want to talk about it. So let's go back to the point where first of all, I'm reciting history. All the stuff that I said.
You're an extremist, man. You're an extremist.
Huh? What is it? All right, so I wonder who's gonna invent something where you could punch somebody through this computer on the nose.
You are an extremist, bro. You can't punch nobody. You're an extremist. People like you.
What I'm saying is this. On a bigger note, you asked me a question, where's Nigeria gonna be 10, 20, 50 years from now?
Bro, you're an extremist, man. We don't want you here. We don't want extremism here.
Eccentric, take it easy. Please let him speak. Please.
I'm gonna hold you accountable because my problem is Rudolph.
Hold on. Let me just address this thing Chuck is saying. See, you know why I feel a little bit exceptionally passionate about this? Because I'm from that region and I don't like the history of Nigeria where a lot of Southeastern people suffered reverses because of the carelessness of people like Pansat during their time. And I lived in a property that was taken over by from a Southeastern person. I'm a testimony to it. I was in Port Harcourt. They took that property from a Southeastern person because of consequences of people like this.
All right. That's enough. I
take exception to people
repeating history
because you have to learn from history.
Will you be quiet? It's my turn.
Go ahead.
Just shut up. Our dignity is not in our properties. Take. Right? Take the reverse people, they take our properties. People, we go home from the war. But go ahead and take now. The problem I have is that Rudolph has populated his platform with a lot of Igbo haters. Minorities talking nonsense all the time. We leave that oil now. Fulani can't take them from you. Which you cannot say anything about it. You don't have a boot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. The only time you make noise is when you see an Igbo man. You think we're your mates? I've just reminded you one little history. Who are the biggest losers in that war? We came over there, we took you over, we conquered you. All of you. I don't care what you say. Right? And because they negotiated a deal of no victor, no vanquish, we let
what's the purpose of this?
The purpose of this is to remind you that we are fighting the Brits, not your punky asses here. We're going to take you over. Once we're not in a democratic setting, once we're not in a democratic setting, we're going to come in there.
He has given us his prognosis.
That's not a prognosis.
He says they're going to split the nation from Nigeria to Chad Republic.
He has
anyway, let me tell you, you keep extolling the virtues of people like John. This is one of our enemies.
This is mental.
He's from Benue State. His people are in IDP camps right now.
That is a lie.
And the losing people scores a day. Have you ever seen him come here and make an appeal and make
but that is not the topic, Pansat.
Yeah,
we're talking about prognosis. You're talking about
interrelated. There's a nexus, and if you just shut up, let me come to why that's important. Because for a place they say no
one cares. No one cares. You have to limit it for violence.
Corporates like this.
Not
John.
the only violent one here. Like, be civilized.
We're talking about prognosis for Nigeria, and you are talking about.
I gave you my summary by saying there'll be no Nigeria when you're talking about.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me give you my reason.
No. We have to keep it at the topic. That's your prognosis. That's it.
But I have to give you the reasons why. You don't care about
there's no reasons why. It's not about the reasons
For
why.
the past
what is
10
going to
minutes
happen.
or 15
But
minutes.
perhaps let someone else. Pansat has spoken. Let someone else.
Exactly.
What does everybody else have to say that's more important than what I have to say?
No, I mean you had your turn. Some other person should speak.
I
have high hope for you.
You like to joke around, and it's funny when you are joking. That's a fact, but there is consequences to some of all these issues you say, and don't
shut up.
As if you don't know. There's consequences. I don't find the consequences funny.
You don't.
Hey, leave it.
Because it made you a moderator. You're running your mouth.
You are talking about how they're going to invent something. If they invent something,
I'll still whoop your ass from anywhere. I'm 6'4" and I'm fast. So how you gonna make it?
You know we can't
right?
measure it from
You're a short guy, maybe 4 foot, 4 feet and a half. I'm
okay, can we allow support diaspora voting to have a say?
Yeah, go ahead. But come back to me quickly. I have something to say. That the reason why I'm here. It's not all this nonsense we're doing here.
You know what? We are going to be rounding up. This is supposed to be Sunday. This guy is going to ruin it today. And it's festive season. We don't need this wahala from Pansat today.
You are in trouble today with Pansat.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Have a nice time wherever you are.
Jonaba, thank you for joining us.
I say I talked to you again some time ago.
Go to your people's platform. John, go to your paper.
Thank you for
don't worry.
Thank you for holding Pastor's feet to the
fire. You are the one
today.
trying to colonize it again.
Don't mind him. He wants to take over all the way to Chad. I don't know what he wants to use. Him and what army? Support diaspora.
This is have a nice good morning from here. Bye, my friends.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, we are going to be running off soon anyway.
Pastor, take your medication.
But before you go, Richard Okpara, can you send a message to Nigerians? Anybody that wants to go, let us know so you can send a message to Nigerians and Black people and everybody all around the world. Do you have any message for everybody?
Yeah, my message is Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to Nigerians, and let's just stand up and take what belongs to us, because I know that together we can do this. You know, together
support,
we can.
Yeah. So support diaspora.
We let him talk. What is this today?
Together we can do this. You know, together, if we come together, we can chase those people out of office, because they have made our life so miserable. That's why I consider myself as Igbo man in exile. Bye bye from here.
Thank you,
Mr. Richard. So support diaspora.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Please, support diaspora.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, if they were cutting that video out for him now, you just interrupted it. Diaspora voting. So the question was about, you know, if Nigeria carries on in this mode where, you know, things are not being done properly, what will be our outcome 10, 20, 30, 50 years from now, 100 years even? What do you think the Nigerian space will look like, or even Africa will look like, if we carry on like this?
Doom
on because of Pansat, or doom for what? What do you mean? Doom?
Well, Pansat is a bitter person. He doesn't even like himself. So I'm not even going to discuss.
Okay,
about
the doom part. What is it?
No, the doom part is just like okay, you're like you're like, how would I call it now? Like ships who don't have any direction in life. You understand? They can't fend for themselves. They can't think for themselves. The only thing they do is whatever is trending, everybody just follow the trend, and that's it. You understand? Not knowing, not thinking of what if this direction they are going to, something happens. What's the way forward? What's the alternative? Nothing. They don't have all alternatives. They just put all their eggs in one basket, and they believe that's the way life's supposed to be. So, and if they continue like this, nobody's holding anybody accountable. One thing, usually just like what happened recently, Nigerian police is just coming telling you that anybody that insults government official, you arrest them. Like, I don't understand where part of this world that is coming from. So, but the people are just docile to like, oh, okay, now so we see them and they keep quiet. So they're just going with whatever is happening. You understand? And if we're not careful, we all be doomed, and we have no say. We'll just be like a zombie. You go here, we'll go here, sit down. In fact, don't eat, we don't eat because we've sold everything about us as human to our oppressors. You understand? That is why I mean what doom. You understand? So
I get what you mean. Personally, doom is the word, and this African American. Every time he comes around talking about any of our topics, he say doomed. We're all doomed. We all do. That's what he says all the time. So yes, I think we should be rounding up now, and I think we should be leaving messages for our fellow Nigerians in the week coming ahead. It's a festive week. And I think AY is not there, so we start with Tony. I don't know, man. I don't want to end with Pansat. I think Pansat, we should start this.
No. We should start with Pansat.
We should start with Pansat. Yeah. We should start with Pansat. Imagine Pansat.
Yes, please.
I'll start it. I want to start it. I also want to end it. After I start, I'm going to wait around so I can end it. So now,
so you're greedy asshole. You're greedy asshole.
My brother, support that poverty. I don't know what you mean by making trouble with me. I'm on your side. We're here to save you. You guys, you don't know what you have. That's the problem. A bunch of minority, both in the north, like John, and those in the south, and the southwest. A lot of you don't know what we're here. No shaky. We're waiting for you. Once you get some sense, we're gonna save you. If you go and you plot a graph from when your people, the Igbos, and of course people from the southeastern region, when they were in charge, first of all, they got you independence from Britain without firing a shot. A lot of them went to Europe, America, and argued. A lot of them, like
we're talking about. Sorry, Pansat. You have ruined the video now. If we wanted to cut it, let's say you say something very, very, great. We wanted to cut the video. We want to hear you talk about your wishes for Nigerians for this great week coming. So, festive season. We are closing out. So tell us.
I understand. Even if I say a bad thing, it's better than the best thing you can ever say here. So I don't know why you're interrupting me. I'm giving hope. The hope I'm giving him is that he looked around. He says doom. Remember when he said doom? See, the problem he has is that he doesn't know he doesn't appreciate what he has. There's something he's got there in that southeastern area, which is the only thing that scares these monsters from the who came from Futa Jalan and took over our country, effeminated the Hausas. They're on a rampage. They're going through your middle belt.
You are still not.
Hold on now. Hold on. I'm trying to give him hope.
I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Yeah,
I'm saying to him,
if you don't change your tag, it's
helpless as you are.
On the way.
Your mate is in the southeast doing giving for people. You are here talking about Kiniko. Come up my front, so Maggie.
Okay, so I'm giving you hope that you guys, first of all, you caused the Civil War. You don't have any respect, right? When we went to Abuja, we negotiated a deal to have the country won. Your people say, no, you don't want to be under the Igbos. They're going to dominate you. And then you caused the war. So we're used to it. But what I'm saying, though, is that Ojuku's been there, made mistakes, like I'm saying. When we get in there, we're going to make you listen. You're very hard of hearing. You're disrespectful. This time around, we're going to make you listen. But you have somebody who is the antidote for that problem you're talking about, that hopelessness. I was going to say, plot a graph. Even recently, from 2015, when they eased out Southeasterners from government, you over here starving. It's not like when you had Ugozu Konjiwa like that. Doing the economics.
I'm giving you 30 seconds.
So if you see me here and you're running your mouth, don't forget, plot a graph and you're going to see hope. You're going to be hopeful.
Thank you, Pansat. All right, Loco P. So what do you wish for Nigerians for this festive season and the week coming ahead?
Pastor, just begin. Come on, Pastor, go out of the stage now. Leave the rest on the stage. Just go out.
All right. Good night, everybody. They can't talk.
No, he doesn't have to leave.
He has to leave. He has to leave.
Make I listen to my brother.
Tony, he can be here to listen to the music while we are closing out. So
he can be on the backstage. Jesus Christ. His mate is in South is doing giveaways. Here, you talking about nonsense here. Anyway, for the my party was like for the unitary period, Nigerians, on the stage, on the platform, at home, wherever you are listening to us right now, please support diaspora voting. All right. And we in diaspora, they cannot bribe us. You understand? They can't buy our votes. You understand? So if you are here, talk about the millions of Nigerians outside Nigeria, diasporas living outside Nigeria, even the population in Africa alone, if we come together, get our ass right, and push for diaspora voting, we will win these people. Do you understand? So please, Nigerians, wherever you are, it won't cost you anything. It only costs you an hour or two of your time, maybe in a week. Just come, put your act together. Let's support diaspora voting. We need it, or else we will not have a Nigeria to go to when we are old. Some people will say they don't want to go back to Nigeria anymore. But I know, tell the people you are living with here, do they have your home? Here is their home. Where is your home? Ask yourself, where is your home? Where is it you call home? You can say anywhere I find home is home. I agree. Tell that to the white people. If anywhere they find home is home. So please support diaspora voting, and I wish you a very united season. See you soonest. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I appreciate. And I'm sure others will appreciate. Eccentricals, please go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know how you guys tolerate Pansat, man.
Person on witchcraft. Witchcraft.
Yeah,
it can be funny. When people are funny, you excuse them sometimes.
I don't know if it's funny. It's kind of like psychosis, like, because he's always saying the same thing, I don't know. Something might be off, Anyways, you know how Nigeria is. Nigeria can be triggered easily. You know what I mean? Most of the rhetorics can cause problems back home. You know what I mean, for our people. So that's why I think it's dangerous to give them platform. That's pretty dangerous. And that's my criticism with the whole Biafra agitation, because I know when this started. There are radio stations, people were sending it to me, and I'm like, what? Is this real? These guys were horrible. Like the things they were saying about other people. I'm like, damn, I'm Igbo, you know what I mean? So it makes me feel weird. I feel dirty about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't support that. No, like the agitation, I get it. I get where it's coming from. But you know what I mean? Like doing it, hating other black people, your brothers, people you share the same DNA with, same country with, people you traded with before colonialism, people you dealt with, you know what I mean? Married with. I mean, that's crazy. Like, and then we take it for granted. We laugh when he does that. We need to start attacking him when he comes in with those rhetorics. Or we're going to invade. He sounds like a narcissist, right? How he talks about he's going to save you. That's like a narcissist. They believe that they're a savior. I have this savior mentality. It's some kind of psychosis. I'm going to come save you. I'm going to come take you over. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. Anyways, enjoy your holidays. Hopefully next year, man, we're gonna deal with Pansa's problem. You know what I mean? It's not a joke. It's not a joke, man. Because anytime he comes in, he brings chaos. And the philosophy.
Don't let him take it away from you. You are wishing Nigerians and your people a festive season. Yeah. It's okay. Pansat is Pansat.
Yeah, well, enjoy your holidays, man. Listen, we are workers, man. We're united over one cause, right? We are the working class people. Let's unite together. Forget about your ethnicity differences, all that crap. We are united by one thing. We are suffering. All Nigerians are suffering, regardless of the ethnicity, whatever they are, the northerners, regardless of their religion. We share one thing in common, right? We have been manipulated by a few people. So let that unite us. You know what I'm saying? We have a common enemy, and it's the elite, man. That's it. So,
thank you.
Anyways, enjoy your weekend. I mean, your holiday, weekdays, whatever. Peace.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, nice one. Jide, so message for the people before we close out.
Yeah, thank you so much, forefathers. I'm just gonna say happy holidays to everyone. Everyone should have a great holiday. People in Nigeria, they should persevere. we are all going through the oppression, even we in the diaspora. Like, we are all connected to the oppression, even though the people that are facing it more directly are those in Nigeria. They are the ones facing it directly. My message to our people in Nigeria is they should persevere during this holiday period. I wish them the best holidays. But at the same time, too, I'm going to advise our people that it's all in their hands. It's all in their hands. The suffering they are going through, the oppression they are going through, it's all in their hands to resist and take that oppression away from themselves. It's all in their hands. Our forefathers, they've laid the groundwork for the little freedom that we have. So why don't we want to take the opportunity to further liberate ourselves from the oppression that we are going through? We need to take responsibility and be willing to understand the level of power that we have as African people. When we understand such power, we'll be able to liberate ourselves. We can integrate into the white system all we want, but it is not going to solve our problem. It's not something we should be praising ourselves about. So these are the things I think we should reflect on during this holiday period, both in the diaspora and for the Nigerian people. Peace out, everyone. I'll see you guys again. Take care.
Thank you for joining us, Jide. Nice one. Thank you very much. Very focused. And Paul E. I don't know. Yes, Paul E. Paul E. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, what message do you have for our people?
Just something short. For me, I believe we should do it in small steps. We can't change Nigeria overnight. I think the focus should be on holding all representatives at the lowest level possible in the country responsible and accountable. And we have to find ways of ensuring that I don't know, for lack of a better word, deal with them so that they know what they are going there to do. And ensuring that whatever changes we want within the country, they go there and represent us. Because all of us, we can't go there, no matter how much we want to shout in our groups. Except you're going by violence. If we're not going by violence, then we have to go with representatives. And that is all I can really say. There's not much to it. And for everyone else, I wish them happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and hopefully we see all ourselves in the new year.
Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you for that, Pauline. Nice message. And Tony, please go ahead. Message for the people.
Thank you, everybody on the platform and those listening. I'll start first by a quote from a 19th century philosopher, French philosopher. And
yeah, thank you for that, Pauline. Nice message. And Tony, please go ahead. I think
yes.
You're this in your.
Thank you, everybody on the platform and those listening. I'll start first. Okay, sorry for that. I will start first by a quote by. Sorry for that. I will start first by. Where is this echo coming from? A quote by. Sorry for that.
I think there's echo. There's audio device in your background.
Yeah, I'm wondering where it's coming from. Okay, let's see. Okay, I wanted to start by a quote from Voltaire, who is a 19th century French writer and philosopher. And he did say, and I quote, "I disapprove of what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it." And I think that message should go to the platform. We should give everybody the right to express their views, even if they're saying quote and unquote nonsense. Superior logic or argument will always prevail. Now, that said, Wole Soyinka many years ago said, talking about Nigeria, said that this is a wasted generation. That was based on the thing that he is saying. But in spite of all the pessimisms that we have expressed and the challenges that we have seen, And I have various reservations about our country and the political system, the government and the people and so on and so forth. I still hold the view that Nigeria is a great country, endowed by God, richly endowed by God. And that the problem is that we have failed to utilize the resources that God has given to us for the benefit of the people. And so once we are able to address that problem, I think that Nigeria will be a world beater. So I would say that in spite of all the challenges, I see hope. And my encouragement to Nigerians is that we must rise beyond the habiliments of sentiments, ethnic jingoism, religious provincialism, and deal specifically with the problems that the country is facing. If we're able to do that, I see a new Nigeria where those of us who are outside will come back and what they call brain drain will become brain gain. That's how I feel. And I wish everybody, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. That's a very powerful message. Solid one. Thank you for that. And I do have an announcement to make regarding this in the channel of what's his name, Iroko Post. I think we've got 1,000 subscribers now. That is a milestone. We have to celebrate milestones wherever we find them. I wish that's what we have for Nigeria. This one is 1K. Iroko Post TV has got 1K subscribers, and it's official. It's got 1K subscribers. Thank you for all the Nigerians that went there to subscribe, to support the channel. And Dr. Damages will like that. They did ask for us to make it up to 1K, and at last it has made it up to 1K. While all these people are subscribing to Iroko Post, remember there is still also True Naija. Subscribe to True Naija's channel. We also have conversations there, and our conversations are a little bit more robust. We are not looking to go corporate. We tend to have more robust conversations on things there, and sometimes things that you will not hear here, you will hear there. Things that you hear there, you will not hear it here. It's just different shades, and you are always welcome to subscribe to True Naija, YouTube channel. You just search True Naija, you find it there. All right. So let me thank all the people for showing up and for subscribing to Iroko Post TV. Tope, thank you for joining us. All the great work you have been doing and helping to promote the channel. And you probably did help. This is Pastor. Pastor, please subscribe. I think Pastor must subscribe now. Tato, I see you there. Thank you for joining us, Tato. Biafra, Superstar Media, BSM. Thank you for joining us, Biafra Superstar. Boom Boom Ray, I see you there. Thank you for joining us, Boom Boom Ray. Thank you for the support. Let's see who else. McEnelly, I see you there, McEnelly. Thank you for all the support. Ezege Austin. Thank you for joining us. I've not seen this name before. Ezege Austin. Thank you for joining us. Fumio, as always. Is there anything Fumio supports me? I've not. The last time I heard her support me is very rare. Thank you for joining us, Fumio. I'm always talking rubbish. Let's see. Okay, that's in the media. Let's see who else is there that I've not named. Chuk, I see you there. Thank you for joining us. A for Real is also present in the chat. Who else is there? Kemri Bar. Thank you for joining us today, Kemri Bar. I hope you have a good week ahead. Let's see who else is there. Kemri Bar. Melvis Hems. I see you there. I see your support there too, Melvin Hems. Niger Patriot. I see you there, Quinty A. I see you there too. Thank you for joining us, Quinty A. And let me call out, Yam and Oil. Tima Jack, I see you there too. And Tima Jack, thank you for the donation. $2. Thank you for the donation, $2. And Guy Owalele, thank you for the Canadian dollar. Canadian. It's okay. It's all good money. Another one from Madame Tope. Thank you for the $10. We really do appreciate it. Every little helps, as they say. Every support we get helps. Let me see if I missed anybody out there, because I'm not. You see, they always come at the last minute. Adama, I see you there. Thank you for joining us, and we got the 1K at last in the Iroko Post TV. Thank you for joining us, and that should be it for today. And if I'm going to be leaving a message, I did leave a message yesterday, but since for this show I'm not, I will say, Nigerians, I hope you all have Nigerians, Black people, and everybody around the world. I hope you well wishers. I think is a good term to use actually. Well wishers. You should have a great week ahead, and hold your head up, and be unapologetic about whom we are, and don't be intimidated by any barriers in your way. Be innovative, challenge yourself, like a Black Beauty said last week, which I will not forget. Better yourself every single time while you're enjoying yourself with your family members and everything. Always remember to better yourself, your relationships, strengthen it, and because we have to be better, isn't it? Everything we do, we have to be better at it. So let's do the best we can for our people and our societies, our country. Tattoo has come to close the show out in a financial flourish. We appreciate the donation. 10, 20, 20, 20. This is 20, not Canadian dollar. This is 20 US dollar. 20 US dollar. You know, we've not seen pounds in a long time. You know, all the English people, I don't know what's happening to them. All the British people, things are hard. Cost of living crisis is killing British people here. So thank you, Tato, for that donation. And next time, I hope you all have a great week ahead. And this has been a great show, and I hope we've all learned something out of it. Let's not, I think if there's something to learn out of it, let's be wiser when we are criticizing stuff. Let's be wiser about criticizing our homeland and our people, because there are good people in that country, really good people that have made sacrifices for little. You know, we have to always remember that when we talk down that nation, every time you talk it down, that man that wants to go and sign a deal with Nigeria may not do it. And that person that is such a good person that has made so much sacrifice for little doesn't get anything. We have to think deeper when we say things. And there's a reason why other people don't do it, because they know these things. So let's do better for the year that is coming. And maybe our leaders will pick that kind of attitude up too, and they too may start doing better. I'm not holding my breath, but I'm hopeful. Hope shall never die. Bye. Let's play us out. Let's play us out. I'm not going to just shut everything down in one go. All right, let's see. This is a nice song. All right. Good night, goodbye, good night, good day, greetings. I think greetings is the best one because it covers all the zones and all the seasons. Greetings to everyone, and till next time. Bye.
Chukuna malugo yo biadiocha Agaranya chogo kowe bili Agaranya chogo kowe rienio Owe chuku bezie chuku Nuche chukwa busigi fegemeo Nuche chukwa busia ifegemeo Nifo solo ne asi alibazie Oboye bebe agaranya muliba Oboye wuru agaranya mebibe solea Mano agaranya uwa Oboye afyozie nipakwa Agaranya chogo kowe bili Agaranya chogo kowe rienyo Oboye chikubezi olisa kodili ma kodili bemo kodili wakema kodili wanima naino kwane we pelu kodili ma kodili bemo kodili kemo kodili heyo ibedwe me wane nikadiezi bohimo